Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag-off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two dumb Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. This is episode 848 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. I want to say to everybody, welcome back this morning. Welcome back. Michael, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Everybody, we had a lot of sports this weekend, a lot of things to go over today. Last night, of course, was a historical night for the show. We did a live reaction video for the Steeler game last night. I had a lot of people stop by. It was a lot of fun. We do appreciate everybody for coming by. It was fun. I got to be honest with you, Mike. It was a good time. I didn't know what to expect, but the hospitality was nice. Finch's wife was wonderful. The food was great, and Derpy turned out to be a little bit of a worker bee. I was happy with what Derpy brought, and it was a good time. Again, getting all together. All at the same time. So again, it was something that we hadn't done before. It was a lot of fun. Probably we'll do it again in the future sometime. So with that being said, there was a football game that happened during that period of time. We'll get into that in a lot more just a few moments. I do want to take the moment to say good morning to Tortilla, to Jen, to Yinzer Joe on the board. Everybody, welcome back. Good morning to everybody. Tortilla says, we asked, man. Jen says, I'm still mad. How about you, Gur? And Yinzer Joe says, oh my God, fellas, the game was brutal to watch. The offense has to give Rodgers time. The receivers need to catch the ball. And when it's there, thought the defense played well, but could have played better. A lot of things to get into, guys. Of course, we did wrap up our Week 10 game last night against the Chargers. That came by way of a 25-10 loss. The Steelers dropped. They dropped to 5-4 overall, losing 3 of their last 4. All 3 of the last 4 were primetime games. The only injury news from last night was Darius Slay. Slay left the game with a concussion protocol, so now he will have to be cleared before he can play again. But as far as I know, there was a few minor bumps, bruises to a couple guys here and there, but the only major injury news would be the Slay injury again with the concussion, guys. A lot of things to get into today. We'll go over scores around the league, what the divisions look like, playoff spots later on. I do want to throw this out there, guys, with where we're at. I mean, we're at where we're at. The Steelers are 5-4. We have 8 games left. And they look like this. Cincinnati, of course, at home coming up. Then we travel to Chicago to play the Bears, come home to play the Bills, back on the road to play the Ravens, come back home to play the Dolphins, go back on the road to play the Lions, then make a pit stop in Cleveland, come back home and finish up against the Ravens. This stretch of games is becoming more difficult for me to fathom us surviving, and it's not even that great of teams, in my opinion, for the most part. But from what I'm seeing as of late, guys, you can't be happy with what you're seeing. Maybe, just maybe, coach should have turned it over to Ramsey for another one of his speeches. Apparently, it worked so well last week. Dante Jackson, I'm sorry, seals the game with an interception. Yesterday, of course, the former Steeler. So many things to get into today, guys. Let me say good morning to everybody. Phil, what's up? Tortilla, what's up, bro? Mark Malone, RB. Bingo, what's up, bro? Kenneth, dude, my man. Also Finchy, and as we said before, we entered Joe, Jen, Tortilla, guys. Welcome back. A lot of things to get into today. Feel free on the board to opine all afternoon if you would like, because again, there's a lot of things to go over, and I don't know if there's enough hours in the day to talk about everything that I seen happen last night. Again, we do thank everybody that did stop by for the live last night. It was an experience. It was fun. We're going to look at some things and to see how we're going to handle it moving forward. But again, thank you to everybody who did swing by and hang out with us last night. We certainly appreciate it. Again, it was a lot of fun. A lot of good food. I do want to say that there was a lot of good food, and that, you know what, that might have made it worth it. Like after all the blunders and difficulties that the Steelers had in this game, the food might have been the great equalizer for me. Because at the end of the day, that food was amazing. It was homemade buffalo dip by the Derpies, and Finch's wife made pulled roast beef sandwiches with fries and coleslaw, all kind of amazing food. So let's get into it. The Steelers, Mike, they lose again 25-10 to the Chargers. I don't know if I feel any better, any worse, or if I feel the same, guys, about how I feel about this team last week, but they certainly didn't help the cause. With the win last night, the Steelers would have had a 75% chance to make the playoffs. With the loss, the Steelers now have a 42% chance to make the playoffs, guys. Again, I guess it could be worse, but at the end of the day, the way that we're trending certainly can't be making you feel too good. Again, losing 3 of the last 4. They were all primetime games, mind you. And if the Pittsburgh Steelers lose the last primetime game of the year against the Dolphins, will be the first time in history the Steelers lost 4 games in the in primetime in Steeler history. A place that the Steelers used to be very strong. I don't know what's going on. A lot of things to look at, a lot of things to consider. Again, it was a bad game, all in all, for what we were doing, what we were unable to do. I thought maybe we tried to continue to run the ball a little too long. Also, there was some missed drop passes and missed penalties. And I'm not going to harp on missed penalties because they certainly they weren't the difference maker in this particular game. No. I talk more about that, but there was a pass interference easily on DK Metcalf where he gets a hockey check basically about a second and a half before the ball gets to him. That wasn't called. I can't think of off the top of my head what the other one was, but again, I don't want to go on and on about the penalties because obviously that wasn't the case. The Steelers came out and they blew ass. It was a bad, maybe their worst performance of the year. Certainly by the offense, very, very minimal production. They converted on 2 third downs. This is a professional football team. You have 60 minutes in a football game, the same opportunity the other team has, and you manage to get 2 third down conversions. That is bad signs, guys. Again, yes, the Los Angeles Chargers has a good defense. I acknowledge this, and we could go on and on about that. But at the end of the day, everybody has to play the Chargers, and they're not shutting everybody down to the degree that they shut the Steelers down. So, again, that is something to consider. So much to get into, guys. Let's take a look at some interesting numbers, some things that I do have here, Mike. I have some interesting Mike Tomlin quotes today from after the game. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Aaron Rodgers' average completion was for 2.94 yards when caught, guys, just under 3 yards. His average pass receptions, his completions under 3 yards. That can't be good for anybody. Again, the offense, they sputter after failing to make a trade deadline move because maybe we felt that we were all in. Maybe we felt that we didn't need it. Maybe we felt that the future is more important than the now. Again, that's been the theme for 10 years, and we're still kind of running in the same place. As a matter of fact, we are looking better with KP and DJ than AR and DK. I don't know if that's encouraging, but look back, we truly are not playing as well now with these players as we did in the past with other players. We're going to get to the board shortly, guys. I'm seeing a lot of messages on the board. We're going to get to them real soon here. There was a safety in this game. Again, it was 3-2 and 5-3. At that point, I knew this game wasn't going to be normal. At that point, I knew that we were going to have an interesting game on our hands. I didn't think that it was going to be so lopsided. Again, we'll get into the numbers here shortly. Last year on Sunday night games, Mike, we did lose 3 last year. So if we lose the 4th this year, I'm talking about primetime games. Sorry. Last year we lost 3 games, Cincy, Cleveland, and Dallas. This year, 3 right now. So if we lose to Miami in our 4th primetime game, again, that will be the first time in the history of this team. We'll lose 4 primetime games, losing 3 of the last 4 games in its entirety. Guys, So here we are. Welcome back. I do want to say welcome back. Cam Hager doesn't even know where he is at. He's quoted by saying, "Do we even really know what we're doing?" That's encouraging from the number 1 defensive tackle in the league, according to my television screen last night. At the bottom of the introductions, number 1 defensive tackle in the league, guys. There you go. Again, a lot of things to talk about. I don't even know what I don't even listen. I don't even know where to start. This game was so horrible. I can't even decipher where I want to start. Let me start with the good things. Roman Wilson caught a touchdown pass. The only play that was over 20 yards in the game. The only big play of the game. The end of the game touchdown by Roman Wilson. Again, we chalk these up as shit yards, and so maybe should we count that through the course of the game when it mattered? I don't know. Also, 2 other players, I think, on the defensive side of the ball who wasn't great, but 2 sacks for Smitty. I usually don't give Smitty praise because he's never one of my favorite players on the team. But you know what? He did have 2 sacks. I got to put him up there. And then finally, for a second straight game, Mike, Keanu Benton was able to also establish a sack. So between those 3 players, as minimal and as minute as that sounded, I think that's where you have to pick your player of the game from, your game ball if you're a Steeler, and you have to award one. Beyond that, I don't know if there was too much. A lot of times we could turn to the special teams. He misses a field goal, so kick the special teams out of the conversation. If you had to find 3 guys on this football team like last night that you felt was better than everybody, that looked like they actually belonged on a real football team, I challenge you because, again, finding these 3 guys, Roman Wilson's 1 touchdown at the end of the game was a shit play. Also, Highsmith, Benton, they do get their sacks. What do you think, Mike?
Jalen Warren, he has to be in there. He was the only one on offense who showed any signs of life from beginning to the end of the game. And he does that game in, game out. If this team had 53 Jalen Warrens, this team would be a juggernaut. If they had his work ethic and pride out there to go out there and want to win every single game, win every single possession where he has the ball. For me, he was the lone bright spot on offense.
Yeah,
he was their entire offense. He was the only one putting up yardage.
And I do also want to say this, Mike. Going into the game, Jalen Warren was first in the league with missed tackles forced per touch and second in yak per touch. So you know what? You're not lying. Jalen Warren is being, again, he's getting his praise as well. So he had 70 yards. I will pull up the numbers shortly. We'll get into what the numbers look like by player and by team shortly here, guys. But throw up on the board, throw up to your opinion. Meanwhile, let me get on the board and get started, Mike. I don't want to leave everybody behind today. I know everybody's just ready to pull their hair up, but here we are. I'm going to start right here, Finch, as we asked, man. Kenneth says, hello, guys. Rogers was flat out horrible. I couldn't agree with you more, Kenneth. Good afternoon to you, sir. Phil Stills says, what's up, Watt fans? What's up, brother? Always great seeing Phil on the board. Bingo Winchester says, I drank my whole whiskey advent calendar after to listen. Now Christmas is ruined. Way to ruin the stuff. Fucking Christmas Steelers. Thank you. RB says Calvin Austin needs to lose his helmet. RB also says, dude bobbles everything. Mark Malone, Warren was the only guy to show up on offense. And even with an offensive line that didn't show up, Warren was still able to, be somewhat productive. So it says a lot about the player that we have. Field of Steel says overall grade F and game ball goes to Warren. Tortilla says might as well play our practice squad the rest of the season. Field of Steel says, you know what, game ball, Herbig and Warren. They played. Herbig played good, but he had less sacks than Highsmith. That's kind of why I leaned in his direction. Tortilla says we're lucky if we go 9-8. Again, you guys, we're 5-4. So we have to go 4-4 the rest of the way. We'll go through the schedule a little bit. Do you think we could go 4-4 the rest of the way? I did. I don't know if I do anymore. Again, this Chargers team wasn't elite, and again, this Charger team has a lot of issues. They have, could you imagine if we're missing 2 offensive tackles and both of our running backs? We'd be in panic mode. This team manages to go out and still do it on offense. And again, all these players hurt. A lot of issues in Los Angeles with the Chargers. Joe says, I've already counted primetime Sunday night games as losses. As a loss this year, the next one is against the Dolphins. Collinsworth is a curse, calling it my mind. It could be the first time. This team is not good. There's a lot of bad things going on with this team, and it's top to bottom. And we've said it all year.
Yeah,
we'll get more into it as the show goes on. But Field of Steel says, "Damn, Vanilla's gaze is on." I agree. Vanilla seems a little bit out of character today. What's up, man?
Nothing, man. You're doing a good job getting the talking points out there. So I'm just going along, reading some stats, and to have talking points to bounce back off you. But man, you're on top of it today.
Derpy says the chicken dip king is here just to see if anyone's ass is okay from the dip. he is.
He put some roofies in that dip.
He was so on top of everything. I got to be honest. I congratulate.
He was too bad. He was like a little producer in there.
He was running around, changing things, hooking things up, setting things up. I couldn't be happier. There was a period of time during halftime when he played the same song 5 times in a row. I could have pulled all the hair out of my face. But you know what? If that's the only thing I have to complain about, let's move on. Phyllis Steele says, Derpy, boom! RB says, Derpy in the house to check on the men's asses. He is. Derpy says, boom, Jen. Phyllis Steele, Jen, boom. Let's see what we got here. Tortilla says 2 and 3 since Derpy put his thing down, flipped and reversed it. Missy Elliott, right? Kenneth says Rogers moved like an elderly man and looked like a deer in the headlights all game. Sailed passes, missed open receivers. Jalen was good as usual. Field of Steel says no Watt, and the defense lost this game. Defense sucked.
Damn straight, Phil.
Mark Malone says he had 2.39 seconds, 0.239 seconds before pressure got there. And again, we knew we were going to get pressure. This defense, I mean, Khalil Mack got to safety early in the game, of course. They have a strong front seven, and Derwin James, and I mean that's a nice defense. But at the end of the day, it wasn't that we got beat by this defense. We looked like shit. This whole game was shit in our from the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know if it was maybe if the defense wasn't even halfway as good as it was, we maybe wouldn't have played any better. The Steelers they imploded. Mark Malone says,
too.
Got to draft all wide receivers, cornerbacks, left tackles, left guards. Well, you know what? We better because we have all the capital now. We didn't make any moves at the trade deadline. They better take care of all the problems. This better be fixed in 2 to 3 seasons. If not, guys, I don't know. I don't know what else we can do. I've never seen this team this bad this long. This is insane. Tortilla says Aaron Allor. Drew? Aaron, I see what he's saying, Aaron. RB says Ryan is argue besides piss poor coaching. The worrying about the now and not the future is the biggest problem and why we are where we are now. Mark Malone says, well, it's a Tomlin coach team. Tortilla says, I guess I should be thankful y'all were live and the game was on, so I didn't have to watch the game. I guess if there's anything that we could take away from this, right? Derpy says Herbig did solid as well. He did get a sack. Bingo Winchester says nobody calling that the Wilson touchdown garbage time. What happened? I think I'm the only person that's saying that. Everybody's just happy Roman Wilson scored, and we did something more than 20 yards. That was the only play, guys, that went over 20 yards for the Steelers yesterday. Tortilla says we need to fire everyone but Danny Smith. Start fresh and bring back the 08 uniforms, yellow helmets, white pants. Andrew Joe says Mahomes couldn't have completed any passes behind that O-line play, and Will Howard shouldn't be thrown out there to the Wolves. Our best option is to keep Rodgers in there unless the season is lost. Tortilla says we also need all white uniforms. Our beast has ever noticed when we stop teams on third and short, Mike looks all smug and cocky, and then looks all pouty face when he sees they are going for it. Like he's shocked not everyone has baby balls like him. Tortilla says I have nothing bad to say about the Steelers, like a special teams kid who drew the ugliest picture ever you've ever seen. You just smile and say, good job, buddy. Keep up the good work. Bingo Winchester, we're going to lose the majority of the remaining games anyway. I say give Howard meaningful reps, and we could see what we really have at the path. Again, you didn't get any looks at him in the preseason. It's not going to be much longer before I'm on that boat as well with you. It's hard to do at the halfway point. And again, you could see the writing on the wall. Is this team good enough to compete in late January? I don't think so. There's been nothing that indicates that they are. But still, for the sake of the season and the show, I'm going to give it. So I got to give it more time. I got to give it more time on that. But the time is running. The time is running out, guys. Kenneth says this. He says defense was fine. They kept us in the game for about 3/4 until fatigue set in. And again, they 2 to 3, 2/3 of the time, 2/3 of the plays. The Steelers have not won they've not had more plays than the team that they've played all year. Every single game went by the favor of the other team. A couple of my talking points were get off the field, keep their quarterback off the field. Obviously, he's a stud. That didn't happen. You can't get behind the markers. They get two third down conversions. So basically everything they needed to do, they shit the bed at everything. Mm-hmm. Did they do anything well? I don't know. Not consistently, I could promise you that. John said, Big John Stud, what's up, brother? He says the team is media pretenders, not real contenders. It has been that way for years. There are more and more fans not buying the false hope for cash off-season gig. Gang, what's up, Jamal? Great seeing you, brother. Always great to see Jamal on a terrible board. He says, damn, we suck. Mike Carr says the uniforms ain't going to – I don't know if anything is going to help at this point. We might need a genie in a bottle, and I don't even know if that's going to help. 007, what's up, man? Welcome back to the board. Great to see you, man. He says this loss was on Rodgers. Mike Carr said, Howard, stop it unless we lose the next 5 in a row. But you can also say, 4 games ago, you could say, well, if we lose 3 of these next 4 games, maybe we're not going to be in a good place, which we did lose 3 out of 4. We lose 3 out of our last 4 games, guys. And again, we get the Bengals, who we are favored against by 5.5 points. If you want to believe that, the Bengals coming to town usually get a 3-point swing on the points for being a home team. The Bengals, we are 5.5-point favorites. Hey, please, I don't even begin to understand what this means, because this team was able to do what they did to us. They chopped us up and sliced us into pieces last time we played. Here we are, Mike. For some reason, after losing 3 out of 4 games, they decided the Steelers are going to be the favorites in this football game. And also the Bengals got to sit home all weekend and watch us play.
Yeah. I don't know how that happened. It's comical. It's funny. Maybe they're seeing our defense is improving and their defense is not, but our offense the past 2 weeks has not been crisp and on point, especially last night, man. It was one of the worst offensive showings that we see, especially from Aaron Rodgers. It was one of his worst performances of all time throughout his entire NFL career. Missing open throws left and right. There's at least two passes that he missed that should have been touchdowns easily. They could have swung the course of the game. He missed on those, missed on a lot of third downs. It's piss poor performance. Then the offensive line figures they have their worst pass blocking performance of their season. Fatanu's gone in, has yet to give up a sack or a holding penalty in his career, and gives up 1 of each in this game. The offensive line was just outmatched in the past game this year. And when given time, Rodgers ran in, like I think someone said on the board or is about to, I saw in the comments, ran into sacks. He ran into his own safety. He had happy feet back there. just a bad performance from the offense, man. Because the defense played well. At one point, it was 13 or like 12-3, 15-3. They were still in it. The defense was holding strong, and then like someone said earlier, man, fatigue finally set in. The dam broke on the defense. I'm really not going to put a lot of this loss on the defense because that offense shit the bed big time, and it was bad. Bad performance by that offense.
This has been a strong point for us all season. Mike Aaron Rodgers, of course, throwing 18 touchdowns halfway through the season, puts him somewhere in the early 30s. And again, that's a huge step up from where we've been. But let's take a look, Mike. These are the numbers of the the receivers' stats through 9 games for the Steelers. Our leading receiver, Mike, DK Metcalf, has 32 catches for 502 yards. 5 touchdowns, of course, leading the way. Our second best receiver of the season so far is Kenneth Gainwell. 29 catches, 123 yards, no touchdowns. Jonnu Smith coming in at third with 26 catches, 163 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the season. Jaylen Warren, another running back in the top 4. He has 23 catches on the season, 214 yards and a touchdown. Pat Freiermuth, rounding out the top 5, 22 catches for 260. 3 touchdowns on the season. This was the top 5 on the team, Mike, and there is one wide receiver that is included in that, and that is DK Metcalf. Let's move on. Calvin Austin, number 6 on the team in receiving with 21 catches, 237 yards, 2 touchdowns. Darnell Washington working his way up the ladder, Mike, with 14 catches, 142 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Ben Skowronek, now you're getting the Skowronek numbers. Skowronek, 2 catches, 35, 1 touchdown. Meatwad Hayward, he has 2 catches, 18 yards, 1 touchdown. And then beyond that, it's Caleb Johnson, 1 catch, 9 yards, no touchdowns. Scotty Miller, 1 catch, 9 yards, no touchdowns. And Spencer Anderson even makes the list with 1 catch, 4 yards. So, as the high point, it's not really blowing you away by these wide receiver and receiving numbers. Certainly, if they didn't plan on using wide receivers, they're sticking to their guns. I can tell you that. Again, outside of the top 5 is where all the receivers lie, with the exception of DK Metcalf, which of course you would think he should be in the top couple, and he is. So beyond that, it's not. This is the shining point for the offense. Jaylen Warren, of course, is too. I don't think anybody's going to deny that. And again, we'll get into the numbers in just a moment. But Mike, is this the game plan? Is this the Aaron Rodgers, the big Arthur Smith offense that we were told about over and over?
He's certainly spreading the ball out. A lot of guys are getting a lot of catches. But like the biggest disappointment, DK Metcalf, he's up there in catches and yards, but he's only catching 59% of his passes.
Right.
Calvin Austin,
the best receiver, and
58. Yeah.
I agree.
It's bad. Like your best out of your pass catchers who's caught a ball is Pat Freiermuth at 78.6, but you add in running backs is Jaylen Warren at 88%. So he's been your best offensive weapon when you combine rushing and passing attack. That's awesome if he's putting up CMC numbers or Saquon Barkley type numbers. He's not in this offense. He's not playing. He's our best player, but he's not by that far our best player on this team. It's like guys have been very much underproducing this year. DK has 5 touchdowns. That's the same amount. He's going to end up more or less like the same stat line he had last year in Seattle. He's going to have more touchdowns, but the drop percentage, the drops, it's there for him, and he's not catching a whole lot. And you were hoping him being there and Freiermuth that guys would get, some other people would get open more in the offense, but it seems like every game, Aaron Rodgers or Arthur Smith just figure out who their main target's going to be, and they just go to that guy. And then if you're not that guy, good luck being the second or third key, because we might not go to you. It's going to that first read or down to Jaylen Warren. And I think that's a big problem with the offense is watch Aaron Rodgers all game long. You can tell where he was going to throw. He was looking to that side every single time. The ball was snapped. He's looking right there. He's gripping it, ripping it to that first read. He was not trying to move anyone off on that incompletion on 4th down in the red zone. You knew where he was going. He turned his head there the whole way. He didn't look. He had, I think it was Freiermuth coming across the slot. If he would have waited, he could have opened him up, and we could at least got a first down in that situation and had goal to go at the 3 to 4 yard line. He's locking in on one guy and going that way, and
and he should know better. The guy's a 21
should know better, and that's affecting a lot of these
winner. If anybody should know, it should be this genius of the quarterback position. So, when things are bad, they're bad.
Yeah, and this game, it was really noticeable this game that he was doing one read and one read only, and getting the ball out to that guy. If it's not there, he's checking it down. If the check down isn't there, he got happy feet. Yeah, they didn't give him the best protection in this game, but there were sometimes he had time to reset his pocket when he moved, and didn't. He just kept getting happy feet and would run back into a sack instead of settling down and finding someone or throwing it away.
He looked like an old man trying to get away from getting hit. And that's what it was. He's an old man that was getting hit and getting chased around. And again, I don't know if you could expect any less. The offense is what it is. The line is we thought was improving, but again, you've seen a little bit of a fallback because this Chargers they do have a tough front seven. No two ways about it. Yeah. And their tough front seven and their quarterback was enough to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. Another reason why I can't imagine that January could be any kind of a success when we've been being beat by quarterbacks basically when we know what's coming at us all game. And again, still no luck, guys, as we lose another AFC game. Go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say, the thing that sucked about this game, if the offense played the way they did against the Colts, and that was a bad performance too, the Steelers win this game.
I'm sorry, I was reading something. Say that again, because the very end of it didn't sound right.
If the Steelers offense played the way last night, the way they did against the Colts,
well, of
course, the way we played against the Colts that we played last night, I think this team wins the game because that's how well the defense was playing, and that performance we put up against the Colts was not the best, but it was enough to win the game, and I think that would have happened in this game. But my God, this was a piss poor performance last night, and it was like 95% Aaron Rodgers and 5% that O-line.
Coach Tomlin made sure to reassure that everything was going to be okay in the post-conference presser. When asked about the game, Mike Tomlin's response was, "We'll be better. We'll be back and we'll be better." To me, that sounds like you have no fucking clue what you're talking about. And the other thing that caught my attention was this by Coach after the game. When asked about Aaron Rodgers' performance, Mike Tomlin, he turned, frowned, and answered with a perturbed stare and answered the question, next. So again, I understand you're frustrated, but brother, you were this close to having your head on a platter in this city. Don't say things like this. Next. No, dude, we just shit the bed. We shit the fucking bed. Give us some fucking answers. Act like at least you know what the fuck you're talking about. It's getting so frustrating. The whole team. I'm not picking on Mike. The whole team fucking suck, but he's the head. He has to have some kind of answer. He never has an answer for this team. It's always the stupid, simple shit. Next. We're going to be better. We'll be better. I promise. No, you don't promise. We suck. Didn't you say we're going to be better 3 weeks ago? Well, guess what? We lost 3 out of 4. There's nothing good. Just shut the fuck up. If you're not going to say anything, shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel. It's just getting stupid. Come on. This team is nowhere even close to being a normal football team, a semi-good football team. 500 this year? Yeah, right. Good luck. We go out and we go all in. We buy the best defense you could buy, the greatest defense of all time. We were hearing spend $165 million, and we look as bad as we ever did. This is a bad football team, and we're going to talk about we'll get better. No, the fuck we won't. That's stupid. Shut the fuck up. Next.
We suck. We're going to be the worst team in the league. These guys suck. We are all trash.
The thing is, he has no answers. Like, he has no answers.
Okay, cool. That's what you want to hear as a player.
I want to hear something. I don't want to hear next. Bro, I had to sit here and watch this game for 3 fucking hours of bullshit for you to say next. I at least want to know that you have some kind of clue what you're talking about. Because from what I'm seeing, I'm seeing that you don't. Frustrating. Good fucking... Sorry for the language, everybody. I do apologize, but
keep it up. I like it when you get fired.
It can't be more frustrating with this team right now. Okay, we lost to the Chargers. That's fine. You win some, you lose some, but it's not that. It's the whole. You're looking at this as a whole. The two of the 5 games that we won. I mean, this could be debatable, and we could argue back and forth. We're not going to do it today, but you needed fucking 5 to 6 turnovers to get the win. That's 2 of your 5 wins. We'll be better. Don't you worry about it, guys. We're gonna get this. We have it all figured out. Oh, what are you gonna do, Mike? Next question. So this is where I'm at, guys. I hope, like everybody else, this gets better. But can you see? Can you find a foreseeable a way that this can be any better or can get any better? We have the answers every week. We this is what the Steelers got to do. The Steelers say the same thing. This is what we're going to do. We got to do this, and that, and we get worse. And we get worse. We beat, let's call it the number one team again last week, the way that we did, and then we come out the following week and shit the bed against not the number one team. So, do what you want with that, guys. That just tells me that we are not a good football team. It's very inconsistent at best. I think we called that at the beginning of the year, and they certainly haven't let us down in that area. The consistency of this team has been as shitty as it's been. And for them to say, we never said we went all in, but you didn't go out and grab DK Metcalf and a Hall of Fame quarterback and Jalen Ramsey and Darius Slay and the whole way down the list. You replaced 50% of your starters from offense and defense last year. So somewhere math isn't mathing. Something isn't happening that's, again, this is going to be on year number 9. So we're going to be going on a whole decade, providing we don't win a playoff game this year. And I can't see, as far as the eye can see, how this team could even make the playoffs, let alone find a way to win a game in the playoffs. The Ravens, I've been told all early in the season, now this team is done. Don't worry about them. Well, guess what? The Ravens are 1 game behind us. We still get them 2 times. We're going to be in the playoffs? Again, guys, the schedule looks like this. The Bengals, who just beat us. Then we go to Chicago to play at Soldier Field, a place that we've struggled in the past. Buffalo comes here. They took a loss to Miami, but does that make them the matchup for us any better? I don't think. Then we go to Baltimore, play on the road, the division rivals, the Miami Dolphins, who just beat Buffalo. Then we go to Detroit. Then we go to Cleveland. We got to play that Cleveland team on the road this time, and then we come home to wrap it up against the Ravens. Guys, I don't know. What do you think? Throw it on the board. Is this going to be a playoff team in another month and a half? I read my face. Go ahead, Mike. Respond to that. I'm going to try to find where I'm at on the board.
So if this team loses out, though, that might be the best thing to happen. Everyone will get their wish. They get a high draft pick, new coaching staff potentially. So that should be the best outcome that everyone is rooting for, that this team loses out to get itself into a better position to win in the near future.
Mike, do we abort the plan to bring Asante Samuel to town on Wednesday? He's scheduled to come here Wednesday to work out with the team. At this point, do you just abort it and say, "Get the fuck"?
No.
You still want to bring in big players so we can continue to lose with big names? I'm not putting I'm just saying in general.
Bring him in, see if he is healthy, if he passes your physical, and you don't sign him to a 1-year deal. You sign him this year and next year, and then with a potential plan of him being one of your top 3 corners in the foreseeable future. See if he has anything left in there, and go from there. Make it to where that second year is kind of like you can kind of void it if you have to, so the cap isn't too bad if he wants one of those type of offers, because you can get him in here. That's a younger corner who's still a pretty good player. Go ahead and get him in here, and if you lose with him, awesome, cool. We're getting moving up higher into the draft pick, the better chance of getting an entire new coaching staff that everyone wants. So that is the best case scenario for Steelers fans in Steeler Nation, is to lose out. Go out and get him. See if you have anything. It doesn't cost you a dime. It doesn't hurt you in the long term to bring them in. You come in. We lose. Language. We lose because no one's ever happy after a win either way. So I'm going to be happy when we lose.
Well.
I'm taking that mentality.
That is a very when you make that in context. Now listen, if the Steelers are a team that somewhat resemble a team that is good, you are happy after a win. But when you win and there's still so many things that you see that is going to be the problem next week, which has been the case, it's hard to not complain. I put into context, I agree, but I also disagree with what you're saying, because if we looked good, believe me, that number, or that complaining would be down. There'd still be complaining because people are people. But at the end of the day, when you're watching this team win, you're still not impressed. I was scared to death after we beat the Colts. I thought there's no way this is going to end well for us. Beating the Colts could have only been a bad sign. How? I don't know, but I just knew it was. Let's jump back on the board. Jamal, what's up, brother? Or RB says, "Hey, Jamal, I tried to watch a show on my home from last week. You weren't on, but the dude who hosted don't know shit about football and was painful. You should do your own thing, my guy. I prefer when I watch Jamal's show. To be honest, of the two, I'm not going to say anything bad about Izzy, but I do prefer Jamal if I had to pick. I just want to say that. True Thong, what's up? Nice seeing you. Great having you back on the board. He says, if any rushers get close, Rogers will not stand in there and take the necessary hit. Crumbles like a scared little girl holding the teddy bear. And that's the truth, too. He won't take a hit. And that's a problem. You got to be able to take a hit as a quarterback. And I get that you're old. Believe me, I got that you're old from the moment we signed you. I'm pretty sure that was an argument. But, guys, you're seeing it as well as I did. In truth, that's a great comment because, again, he will not take a hit. And, you know, you guys been watching football like I do. Quarterbacks get hit. That's part of the game. You're trained to be able to take a hit. And again, you're not seeing that. That's also another thing that tells me that this is not a solid situation we got here. Mark Malone says Watt only had 1 sack and 1 pass defended. He needs 3 or 4 per game to make up for Tomlin's deficiencies. Jamal says laugh my ass off. You mean Tyrone? Yeah, dude. Tyrone, your show, or Jamal and Tyrone. I love it the best when I watch Jamal's show, Talking Trash with the Steeler Gang, and Tyrone is on. I'm not saying anything bad about Izzy. I like Izzy as well, but I prefer Jamal and Tyrone. I just lean that way. I do. Yinzer Joe says, I'm not really starting to think more and more. I'm really starting to think more and more about these referees have invested in the Vegas odds bets, maybe even players too. How does winning against 2 top AFC teams, losing to the Chargers, make sense? Listen, that is a whole conversation for another day, Joe, and I'm not going to dispute it. I don't say that I don't agree with you to an extent. And
we're an average team. So one week we could play well, one week we play like shit, to where we average out to being an average team. I think that's what it is, and I don't think there's that many top teams in the AFC. I think there's a lot of good teams in the NFL.
The inconsistency of every team around this league this year. There's not one team that hasn't had that inconsistency label at one point or another during the season. That kind of, again, bodes against what I see because, again, we've watched football for a long time. I've seen games play out. I've seen seasons play out, and I've seen dominant teams. I've seen average teams, and I've seen bad teams. Just as of late, this has been its own entity. These guys, every team is very week to week. Is it the parity? I don't know what it is. Is it Vegas? I don't know, but you're not alone in seeing that, Yinzer Joe. But again, I think that's a whole nother episode. I think we can turn that into 2 hours if need be.
Because somehow, the Broncos are 8-2, and you watch them play, and they play like shit.
They're not. That's not an 8-2 team to me. Come on, that team is going to lose. Bro, they're going to lose in the playoffs. That is not a good team. They're 8-2. They're the 1 seed in the AFC. The Broncos. Did you see that 10-7 win over the Raiders?
It was a shit show. It was bad. It was bad. The Steelers are we just suck this year, but my God, there's not that many good teams out there. A lot of them are just are a bad day away from being the Steelers.
This is why I thought this could have been our year because everybody else sucks, but we suck worse than everybody else. Apparently, losing 3 of 4, guys. Mind you, 3 of 4, and again playing the Bengals this week, a team that they carved us up. Might have been close at the end, but if you remember the game, if we don't have an answer for that. Why wouldn't it happen again this week, guys? Again, Bengals are coming to Pittsburgh Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock to play our Steelers. The Steelers are 5.5-point favorites, believe it or not. They lose 3 of their last 4, get sliced up by the Cincinnati team. So we'll see. We'll see what that's all about. Kenneth says Rodgers had a Jets jersey on last night. That's how bad he was. RB says, I don't know Jamal. I didn't catch names. Dude was just completely lost when he actually talked football. The other dude was talking about dogs pissing on his PlayStation. Mike Carra says, we'll beat the Bengals and we can beat the Bears. And yeah, we stink and Tomlin should have been gone 10 years ago. And you know what? Those are easy things to say, Mike. And I generally agree with you. I generally would say, yes, we could beat the Bengals. Yes, we could beat the Bears. But I don't know. I just, is it going to be Hyde or Jekyll that shows up? We don't know. We're not going to know until after the first quarter of the game. Kenneth says, what about the pass where Rodgers must have thought an open Gainwell was 6'9"? I know he must have thought that was Darnell out there. He did that a couple times. That ball was he wasn't in the game, Mike. And you've said that before. You could see early on the face of Aaron Rodgers last night. That guy's head. And I'm not going to say he wasn't in the game. I'm sure he was, but he was very lost out there. The balls were everywhere. The balls were high. The balls.
Yeah, he was
We needed
not sharp at all.
We need Aaron Rodgers to play good football if we're going to win football games, Mike.
Yeah, he hate to say it, but I think his middle of the field accuracy, or those mid distance throws accuracies are completely shot. Like this game kind of proved that he cannot hit those 10 to 12 yarders down the field, which is sad.
Yeah,
like 10 to 12. That every quarterback should be able to hit that in their sleep at this level of the NFL, and he was sailing them badly. It was atrocious.
Tortilla says, if you weren't with us at 4-1, you ain't with us at 9-8. And you know what? We're all gonna, as we've been for 10 years and for 20 years and our whole lives, we this is our squad, and I get it. And you know what? Just like a loved one, you could be mad at them. You're not going to disown them or hate them. And that's kind of where I'm at with this team. I'm certainly upset. And again, it's because you just can see the writing on the wall. And that's the most frustrating to me because, if you felt that this team could pull it together, make a run, perhaps this month was their late season slide and they could pull it together and win a lot of games in their last 8. I don't know that to be the case, but again, it could be salvageable. The writing on the wall tells me it's not going to be salvageable. That's why I'm so frustrated. It's the writing on the wall because there's nothing from what I'm seeing is showing me that, oh, well, but if this happens, we could, even if we play good, guys, we needed turnovers and a bunch of them to win a few of these games against the Colts and against the Patriots. And so, again, a lot of things are just not good right now for the Steelers. Let's hop back on here. Mark Malone says we need to draft 2 to 3 wide receivers next year. Let PP Austin walk. Yinzer Joe says, I'm tired of everyone saying Rodgers wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing. Quarterbacks are taught to step up in the pocket, but when the defense fakes outside and wraps back around, he can only do so much. Truth Thong says Arthur Smith has had 3 losing seasons in Atlanta. He went 7-10 all 3 years. You're right. Then got fired. So naturally, Tomlin hired him. Couldn't be anybody on an up. I don't like somebody on the upgrade, but hey, we tried, right? They said give him a shot. He did great things in Tennessee one year. Tortilla says, and that's why I said that, right? He did good things in Tennessee. Yeah, I didn't say he didn't, correct? I just want to check myself.
No, I was agreeing with you. I was being sarcastically agreeing with you.
I was sarcastically wondering if I didn't say the right thing.
No. I was matching your energy.
Yinzer Joe says the line and receivers have to play better. End of story. The whole team. Come on, they play like they're. Because again, if the defense looks good one week, they don't look good next week. If the line looks good this week, last week they didn't look good this week. If the quarterback throws 4 touchdowns in a game, he looked bad this week. So again, consistency. Is this one of the better teams you're going to face all year? I don't think so. But again, the people that they have that are weapons, they hurt us. The quarterback hurt us. The defense hurt us. Derwin James hurt us. Khalil Mack hurt us. Dante Jackson hurt us. We didn't want him. We went out and got 3 other guys. And he gets the interception in this game. Not our guys. Not the Jalen's and the Slays. Slay gets hurt. Kenneth says DK is starting to be a disappointment. And the thing was about DK, we knew he'd drop balls. But I didn't know. Listen, if things were a little better, his balls would be a lot easier to sweep under the rug that he's dropping. That's not the case, unfortunately. Truth Thong says Calvin Austin looks like a practice squad type player. Kenneth says Muth was open on the slant, but Rodgers throws a double coverage DK, a horribly positioned pass. Tortilla says Calvin Austin at third, and the slot is fine. We just can't play him as a 2 week in week. He's not a 2. Truth Thong says Rodgers afraid to get hit, will not stay in the pocket. And absolutely, you're right.
It sounds like it's time for Mason Rudolph because he'll sit in there take a hit.
Get him in there, and you know what? At the end of the season, let the other guy get some reps. Again, you have not seen your rookie at all. The guy is not hurt anymore. I wouldn't be against seeing him play, especially when and again, they won't throw in the towel. Once the league tells you you're eliminated from the playoffs, at that point, I say you go all. You got to play your rookie. Let's move forward though, Chris.
I was gonna say agree with them or not with the Steelers, love it or hate it, but they will not fold on the season, like you said, until it's absolutely they can't win anymore. I guess that's commendable that they're going to try and go out there and win every game that they can. But at some point, you're like, can we play for the future? You can see it's not going to go the way we wanted to here. Get some of the young
Past,
guys in there,
future,
get them playing
present. Can we
time.
play for anything? Can we be good at all
Yeah.
in a 10 years period of time? Something's got to give here. Something's got to give. Christophus says this. Christophus, what's up, bro? Always great seeing Christophus on the board. He says this. Hey, guys, Aaron Rodgers has been off target for a few games now. He keeps overthrowing. And again, when you win, those things are easy to ignore. And I acknowledged that last week when Aaron was off a few times in throws in Indianapolis against the Colts. I'm sorry. But it's a lot easier to sweep under the rug when you win. Move on. Hey, we did good. Keep it up. He finishes that up by saying he keeps overthrowing the tight ends, wide receivers, especially on third down. Again, guys, we converted 2 third downs through a football game. An entire football game, 2 third downs. That's first quarter numbers. He keeps changing run plays to pass plays. Jason, what's up, bro? Always great seeing you on the terrible board. He says that was embarrassing. I could agree. 100% that was embarrassing. Christopher says he has too much authority to audible. They've given him all of the authority. And the thing is, when it works, it works. And you just wonder how much of that is covering up for incompetence in other areas. Someone might question. Tortilla says this. Didn't he hurt his hand in warmups last week? Maybe that's affecting his throw. He did. That was the report in pregame before the Colts game. He did hurt his hand, but again, he went out last week and won that football game. I haven't heard anything in the meantime. That doesn't mean that's not the case. But again,
It hasn't shown up on an injury report either.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything other than that particular report before the Indianapolis game last week. Jamal says, man, it seems like Rodgers has a quitting mentality. Mike,
you're not wrong. I don't disagree. He does seem like he gets the boo-boo face quickly.
Kenneth says you don't. Tallman won't speak against, and that's where I was leaning with the they're buddy. They're almost the same age, for crying out loud. Listen, they're not, obviously. One guy's in his 50s and the other 40s. I was being facetious, but he's not going to tell Aaron Rodgers what to do. Has anybody noticed that? Has anybody noticed that? Our head coach will not tell Aaron Rodgers what to do. That's a problem. Anywhere, anytime, any team, any job, USA. If a boss can't tell a seasoned veteran what to do, that's not good. Even if he knows what he's doing, you obviously see he's human and he makes mistakes. And again, all over the place in this whole thing, guys. It started with preseason, not making the guy play a snap with me. But again, we have ways to go. Maybe we'll win the Super Bowl. That will fix it all. We'll keep that alive for a couple more weeks at least until they tell us we're eliminated. Jason says this. Tallman said, what do you think? Tallman said, what do you think? Not next. Yenza Joe says, when your line can't make a hole for a running back to protect Rodgers, you're not going to have time. But again, our running back has 70 yards on the ground. That's a good game for a Steeler running back, certainly over the past 5 years. 100 yards hasn't been the standard. It's been more like 70 yards is a good running game for a Steeler running back. And maybe that is a problem, I guess. RB says this. Hopefully Tomlin was actually paying attention last night. Probably wasn't, but Harbaugh ran a ton of jumbo with 2 full. I did notice the fullbacks also catching passes, I've noticed. And on the rundowns, played 345-pound nose tackle Jay Caldwell. Even on a pass down, he took on doubles. Jason says, we do suck bad. It's sad. And the thing was, you would love to be able to build off that win last week, Mike. You would love it.
Yeah.
If we could have built off that and went and won a team against the team that's a playoff team, the Chargers, you would feel good right now. You would say, okay, we're finding ways to get it done. We're just not finding ways to do much correctly or positively. And again, it's the writing on the wall that scares me, guys. It's not the particular game. It's the whole, the collective of the games this year. And again, can we pick good things? Absolutely. And you should be. And if you can't, then that's a bigger problem. But the fact that the writing on the wall, it's not pretty, guys. It's like graffiti, like bad graffiti, not the good graffiti on the side of trains. This is like the bad. This is like the bad racist words on the side of the CVS. It's that kind of writing on the wall.
Oh, I know that's CVS.
Yeah,
but yeah, and I was hoping coming into this game that they would carry over that performance, and the defense kind of did. The defense played well, until the floodgates open. They were only able to hold back for so long. They were out there for another 38 minutes. It felt like the offense, man. They gotta figure it out, because I was just looking at this at the stats, man. They're slowly dropping down the points per game average. They're slipping. They were one of the
Now people
better
have tape on
offenses in
what
the
we're
NFL.
doing.
Yeah,
At least early in the year, people didn't have tape. Now they have tape. We're our backs are even more up against a wall.
Yeah, this is like, but a lot of it too, man. It's just simple, like missing wide open guys, dropping passes. It's like, this is simple shit that you should be able to be doing in week 10 of the NFL.
That's what I'm saying. You should be improving at week 10. You shouldn't be disappearing into the night and having your worst performance of the season. That's the writing on the wall I'm talking about. It's not one in particular thing, because I understand battles happen through the course of a game. You win the war, you lose the war at the end of the game. The battles are there. I see that. You see it all the time in football. Good, bad, the ugly, it happens. But to be on the decline at the halfway point instead of showing some sort of improvement is not a good. It's not a good sign for us, guys. Let's jump back on the board, and then I'm going to give you another quote here. Truth Thong says this. He says, "We'll be 9-8, and you're going to like it. Take your medicine." Jamal says, "Let it out, brother." Christophus says this. He says, "If his hand is hurt, we should have started Mason Rudolph." he's the Hall of Fame veteran. Listen, nothing's going to happen to Aaron Rodgers unless Aaron Rodgers sanctions it. It's just not. He'll play all 17 games. Can you see Aaron Rodgers being sidelined? Can you see it? Maybe that's when we start to get all these circus that I expected early on, but we didn't get. When things aren't going, like, what did I say in preseason? What happens when things don't go Aaron's way?
Well,
what happens after he throws interceptions and this crowd starts booing him? That's the Aaron Rodgers that I'm interested in seeing, because life isn't perfect and you're always going to hit bumps. And are we starting to see, Mike, again, that particular burden that we thought we might have been getting when we brought Aaron Rodgers in? And again, how easy does he take getting benched at the end of the season for the last 2 or 3 games? Aaron Rodgers got to stand on the bench for the last 2 games of his career. There's no way. He won't let it happen, guys. This is going to be, it has disaster. The writing on the wall.
It'll be a circus. It will be a circus if and when he is benched for either poor play or that the season is over. He ain't gonna like
it. Big Mike said, y'all talking shit. Of course. Why wouldn't we be talking shit? Wait, Big Mike, let me ask you. Jump on the board and tell me a bunch of things about the game last night that wouldn't be talking shit, please. If that's the comment you're going to make, please put it in context. Make yourself clear. Tell me why we shouldn't be talking shit this morning, please. Maybe I'll learn something. Jamal says, well, it can't get much worse.
Put Jamal, it can't get worse.
Kenneth says, that 2 dumb ninjas. Ryan, just breathe in, out.
Guys, he'll be fine by Wednesday morning until he reads the Tomlin press conference. Then he'll be back to this.
All right, I'm good. RB says this. He says, I've said it for 11 years. Tomlin is good at winning guys over and getting the most out of bad players. But when it comes to the game of football, he's an absolute fucking dunce. Double down syndrome. Truth Thong says, salty language. Salt in his molten, man. Morton. Wasn't that it? Morton salt.
Morton salt.
Mike Tomlin on the board. He says, paint the barn red. That is the approach, guys, to moving forward after the loss last night. It wouldn't be surprised if something like that would come out of his mouth. Guys, paint the barn red is what we're going to have to do if we plan on getting back in it. Bingo says next, says I have no questions, so I'll deflect the question with a shit answer attitude. And the attitude lately. Listen, I know that you're frustrated, and so are we. But your job isn't to be frustrated at us. Your job is to figure out how to turn it around. Our job is to be frustrated. We're fans. That's what fans do. They cheer or get frustrated. It's football. It's not rocket science. Truth Thong says, old, stale, conservative team is a reflection of their head coach. Kenneth says, all nonsense. Arthur should have went to drink went to dink and dunk play calling. Hey, we'll probably see it this week. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows with this team what we'll see next week? Mike Tomlin back up on here on the board. Mike, he says, my wife has a great game plan drawn up for the Bengals next week. Don't worry. It's on a napkin. I won't forget it. You will not forget it. And the fish tank needs water. Guys, this comment is by, this is TJ Watt on the loss to the Chargers. TJ Watt says this, we're inconsistent as it can be. Too much up and down, not enough Steeler football. I mean, we can't continue to live and die by the turnovers. As a defense, we need to get off the field. We need to stop the run. Critical third downs. We need to do a better job, and no excuse for it. We need to play better football. Okay, I think we've known these things, but when is this team going to turn it around? These are things, again, we've been saying for a month.
Yeah. A lot of wheeze in that comment. A lot of wheeze in that comment.
It is a team. It's a team, you know. But go ahead.
For a guy who did nothing until garbage time, a lot of wheeze in that comment. For a guy who gave up on a lot of run plays, a lot of wheeze in that comment.
All right, let's move on. Lots of messages, guys. I see new faces today. I do want to say welcome to the Terrible Board. You guys are awesome. Let me jump right here too. Ginger Joe says, hey, Ryan, how do we know that they won't get better? Maybe Scantling will be big help. Maybe Scantling. You know what I'm saying, Ginger Joe? Because all the other additions, 50% was switched out this year with new players. And I got to say, probably the most big-name players I've ever seen on this team, their age regardless, whatever. I've never seen a team this jam-packed with superstar names. That was supposed to fix everything. But, you know, I agree with you. It's tongue-in-cheek, bro.
Alert.
I agree. What is that?
Alert.
Joe Burrow has been cleared to practice by the Bengals.
There you go, guys. You heard it right here. On Munzers, the Steelers could be playing against Joe Burrow on Sunday. Take that 5.5 point favorites and throw that in the garbage. But there you go. Alert, guys, right here.
He's going to be limited this week. So to add more fuel to our misery fire, we may have to go against Joe Burrow.
And Ninja Joe follows it up by saying in the same comment, he says, maybe we could also get Asante Samuel, and he locks it down, maybe. Let's just what do you do? What do you do at this point? Jason, he says, we ain't making the playoffs. He also follows it up by saying Ravens are taking this division easy, which is, I said this in the beginning. Everyone said it was stupid. The Ravens were 1-5. Oh, they're done. They're out. That team has no defense. I said they're going to get their wins later in the season. We're going to get our losses later in the season. I hope that I'm wrong, but it feels like it's making that turn. Mark Malone says the answer in the offseason would be get rid of Rooney, of the Rooney Roller, bring back a Todd Haley type coach, the team, and let him hire the OC of his choosing. RB says I was off for the first Sunday this season and watched 4 games. Every coach was involved, fired up, coaching up guys involved. Mike stands there scratching his ass, sniffing his fingers, lost his fuck. Mike Tomlin, Rooney Roller sounds tough. Also, Jason says 7-10 incoming. Well, that's been a good number. That's been a number that's been accomplished and established by our offensive coordinator more than that one winning season. So maybe things are playing out the way that they should. John says, remember the good old off-season days whenever we were 15-2, winning another trophy, the discussions. Asante Samuel hasn't answered my calls today, Mike Tomlin said. Yeah, he's ghosting us. I wouldn't be surprised if Asante Samuel doesn't show. He does a no-show on Wednesday, or he jumps on another team so he doesn't have to meet with us. Maybe he'll be in Denver by the end of the week. Again, they're what are they? 7-2, 8-2, which I can't believe. Bo Nix, come on! Did you watch that game on Thursday, guys? Talking about a team that don't look like they're 8-2. RB says, I've seen it all off season. Everyone wants that franchise QB. I don't want a young QB here and have the chance to gather any secondhand stink off of Mike. plus let the offensive coordinator find his QB. Mark Malone, yeah, for sure. Mike Tomlin, this is why I kept Meatwad on the roster. The offense runs better with Meatwad. Christopher says, with the way our defense played, I have no doubt Mason Rudolph would have won that game. Receivers were running wide open all night. John says this: if anyone watched Rodgers' tape, it showed his flaws. There was a reason he was a late pickup. Richard said, I agree. The Steelers season is over. Tortilla says, Brian DeBall getting fired.
Yeah, he just got fired not too long ago.
John says, counting last year, that is the 5th primetime loss in a row. They look ass in all 5 games when everyone watched. That is why Vegas believes in the Ravens. Should we be upset? I don't think we should. I mean, it makes sense. Mark Malone said he was a scatter shot. Excuse me. Christopher says Aaron is the reason we lost. Jamal says, laughed my ass off over on the 5-6 hours Broheim talking about our sorry team gets stale. Richard says Aaron Rodgers' lights were on last night, but no one was home. Cody says, can't spell Pittsburgh without Penn State. Haha, same, both teams let PA down this year.
Hey, at least Pitt, has the Panthers.
They do. They moved up in the rankings, and they have a big game this weekend, guys. ESPN College Game Day will be at Heinz Acrisure Stadium Saturday afternoon for the number 23 Pitt versus the number 9 Notre Dame matchup this week, guys. So if you're into college football at all, ESPN Game Day will be at Acrisure. Cody says this. He says, haha, we got embarrassed last night. Them boys sorry as fuck. John says, I continue to watch the same bad movie, sitting in the same chair in the same theater, buying weekly tickets like an idiot because I know the outcome. Ugh. Brandon Eccles was so bad, Cody says. Will Howard, Steve M. Great to have you back. Welcome to the board. Steve M says the D and special teams is what keeps us that's keeping us in the season. Yes, we need Mason. Kenneth says running out of the pocket early was Kenny Pickett's problem. And now we have it with the veteran who's supposed to know what he's doing. So here we go. Here we are. Cody says, play Howard. At least if we lose, we will have an excuse to bad Tomlin trying not to destroy his record. Tortilla says, Groundhog Day, more like Riverhounds Day. Hey, the Riverhounds won. That is the only team in Pittsburgh that ended up winning this week. As the Penguins lose both of their games, the Steelers lose their matchup. Cody fired. Giants coach got fired. Feel the Steel, Ryan. Yeah, Mason versus Bungholes and Howard versus the Bears. Let's see someone else F it up. At least we could know if these guys are going to be F-ups in our future. I mean, we could get a look. Maybe Howard goes out there and sucks. Maybe Howard looks like he looks terrible in real game experience. We'll never know. We'll never know. Kenneth says maybe Rodgers abandoned technique for veteran arm talent. Cody, that was the worst quarterback play I've seen in years, and we had Mitch Trubisky on this team. John says the Magic draft will be the next media's way of selling hope for cash. The problem is bigger than getting new players, however, so I expect more of the same. They're banking on this draft. There's no two ways about it. They didn't make a move because they didn't want to lose a 7th round pick, a 6th round pick. This is how big this draft is going to be, guys. So it better be a home run. If not, we've exhausted every plan and plot that we put out there. We're running out of options here. Tortilla says, I don't know if your head coach knows what to do. Our head coach, I'm sorry. And get to a few more things. We're going to get into some numbers as we get into the second hour here, guys. Jamal says my team might be dog shit, but at least I got my broskies to share the pain. Absolutely, dude.
Right?
Yeah, you know what, Jamal? And we'll be here next year, and if it's good, it's good. If it's not, it's not. And guess what? We'll be here the year after that. If it's good, it's good. If it's not, it's not. At least we ain't got to go through it alone. Cody says this. It says it's not just Rodgers. It's probably T.J. Watt, who I don't know. Was he even there last night? Jamal says he got the sack. He did get a sack late in the game. Junk sack, Cody says. Kenneth says Warren only had 14 carries with that 70 yards. How about if they quit taking him out so much? And the thing was with that, Kenny, it almost seems like they were pushing the point because they don't run enough. And that was the beating that they took last year. Run enough. But in this kind of game, it's by game. Last week, it would have been beneficial to run more. Yesterday, getting the 70 yards meant shit. We were down 25-3, and we were running the ball. That's not smart on any level. On second
We were
down, on
still,
third down, first, it was not conditional football.
they stopped running the ball once it went up to like the 25-3, but they were running it when it made
I
sense in the
remember
third
calling it
quarter
out, and I could
to
probably
move the
pull the tape
ball.
of me calling it out late in the game. But go ahead.
But no, because they mixed it up, but they weren't running. They were running a lot in the third quarter. That was the only thing that was moving the ball and give the defense some rest because they were able to move the ball down the field by running the ball and get a score. They would only have been down by like 8 points at that point. And then all right, cool. Now you have arrested defensively. They can get a 3-and-out. You go down and score, and you make it either a 1-point game. Or tie it up, whether you make that 2-point conversion or not. So it made sense then to run the ball. Well, then once it stopped to make sense running the ball, they went more a pass attack and mixed in 1 or 2 runs to try and get some off
Wait a minute.
balance.
You were the one that was arguing all night. How do you know these things? You had a one track mind last night, and it was field to steel. How do you even know this? Because I was talking to you and coming to you with points, and all you did was just kept going back and forth with them. It started at the 1 hour mark, and it went all the way to the 3.5 hour mark. I couldn't talk a sense of anything with you. You went on. All you did, all my back and forth was this. This is all the defense's fault. This is all the offense's fault. Aaron Rodgers ain't doing nothing. TJ Watt ain't doing nothing. Everything for 2.5 hours. I could have lost my mind with you, and you just went on and on. And I thought, bro, hop in, man. So tell me where you seen this. I don't know because, please.
I saw this going on, but I was having too much fun going back and forth with Steele. I was having too much fun with him. But no, I trust me, man. I was at the perfect level of inebriation to where I had a nice balance between sober and inebriation. I was able to absorb everything.
Mm-hmm.
So just trust me. Uh-huh.
Okay, Mike. Okay, Tom.
Or I'm talking out of my ass. One of the two.
Was that a Mike Tomlin comment? And the fact that you refer to it as talking out of your ass, I think, is speaks volumes.
Well, yeah, the mics stick together.
The mics stick together.
Cody says anyone named Mike backs up out any other person named Mike. It's our curse and our duty.
Cody says garbage time sack for what? Truth Thong says big picture problem. 15 years of mediocrity. I've been saying it for a long time. At first I was racist for saying it, but now when it's finally playing out, people are saying, oh my God, this is not going well. What are you going to do? Jamal says Arthur Smith is a terrible play caller. You know what? I'm not in love with him either. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sticking up for one and not the other. These guys this is not good. The writing on the wall is bad. Cody says the team felt bad and gave TJ that sack. Jamal says got to make sure TJ has his numbers at least. Yeah, he's got to stay relevant, right? Cody says the only reason good players we have on the team that consists of Jaylen Warren. He's the only consistent good player, maybe. Jamal says, "What in the clan is happening at CVS?" You've seen that back of that building. That's the back of building anywhere. Here it just happens to be CVS. It could be electronic boutique. It could be the back of the subway. And it's not all that. It's just bad words.
My question is, why was Ryan hanging out at the back of the CVS?
Oh, I have to go back there and get my dead rats, right?
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, that's acceptable.
Cody says new offense, hand the ball to Jaylen Warren every play. Dennis Thomas, what's up? I want to say welcome to the terrible board. Great to have you. He says the lack of splash plays, offensive players. One splash play, one play over 20 yards was the Roman Wilson touchdown way at the end of the game. Yes, San Diego, LA has a good defense. Should you be held to no splash plays all game? And in the NFL is a pro team. John says there's a collage of fuck on the wall. That's what I'm saying. There's usually some kind of words on the wall. Whether it be the CVS or the writing on the wall for our team, it's bad words everywhere you look. Cody says we have no good wide receivers, and it literally shows. As I did go through the numbers for wide receivers, DK is putting up number 2 wide receiver numbers. He'd be a good number 2 at this point. If he caught the ball more consistently, he could be that number 1. But until then, I can't see that because again, who's playing better? Kenneth Gainwell? Is he our number one receiver? Should we just put him out there?
I think our best receivers on their team are Kenneth Gainwell and Jalen Warren. Everyone else is numbers receivers number 3 and 4. We were bitching about a wide receiver too. We have him. He's our number 1 running back.
Yeah. Tortilla says I got it wrong. It's Mike Tomlin in the Cheesecake Factory. Yinder Joe says I really don't think Rodgers is giving up. If you've seen him after some plays fails, he's yelling and pissed off because of the mistakes made. But what about when he makes the mistakes? Be nice if there was somebody of higher authority to get in his ass. Not going to see that happening. Cody says we don't have to trade for anyone. Our team is great the way it is. That's. Cody says I always talk shit, even when we. Me too. Me too. That's just my nature. Jamal says, I laugh my ass off. We're so trash. Browns fans come to the channel and give us sympathy.
Oh, damn.
If that don't make me want to go hang myself. Christopher says Jalen needs all of the running back snaps. He's our best pass pro RB running back. Why was he not on the field during the safety? Why did they put a rookie in to protect Rodgers? Speaking of which, did anybody see Genty blocking on Thursday night? Talking about a bad blocking running back. He literally stood there and let 2 guys go right by him. He didn't even take either of them. It was comical. Literally, one guy went this way, one guy this way, and Ashton Gentry just stood there. It was, again, very, very up to our standards, I guess you would say. He'd be a good Steeler at this point. John says Rodgers and Tomlin both had the same face on. I see folks in nursing homes who had the tapioca like people in the nursing homes that had their tapioca pudding stolen. Which, Mike, we've had tapioca pudding in our refrigerator here at the studio. And with those little frog eyes, who's eating that tapioca? Is that you? Are you a tapioca pudding guy?
That's my kid. My kid's a tapioca pudding kind of guy.
Okay. I opened one day. I thought it was vanilla, and I started eating it. And I got them little frog eyes in my mouth. I'm just not a tapioca guy. Cody says Rodgers gave off a slightly cunty vibe last night. I agree. Very cunty. True, dude. This one here. Truth Long says, look like Jalen Warren got a wedgie. If I seen any more of that man's ass crack or balls last night, that would have been it for me, Mike. I would have I would just, you know what, guys, finish the show. They went on showing Jalen Warren's ass 3-4 minutes, and then they finished it off with the cherry on the cake with the wiener shot in the front, guys. Come on, we're losing. Is this what you're
Dude?
doing?
I thought that was like the all the alcohol I consumed was eating up that amount of time. I'm glad it wasn't a hallucination on my part.
It was not a hallucination. We've seen, and again, listen, I understand. We were athletes. We all played. We've seen guys' asses. But when you're losing, I don't want to stand
You don't
around.
want to see it.
I don't want to sit around looking at a guy's ass and bulge for 4 minutes straight. Come on.
No, if we were winning, it'd be funny. It'd be funny.
Yeah, if we were winning, it would have been hilarious. Like when Aaron Rodgers got tackled by Broderick Jones. Had that been in a loss.
That shit's funny.
Had that been in a loss, that would have went down in infamy.
Yes. It's a fine line between funny and pitiful.
Phil Steele says, yeah, either the offense or defense gets shitted on, but here on the Two Dumb Yinzers, Watt gets shitted on for sure. It's been 90's fault all season. I don't agree with that, but Mike might agree with that. But listen, I don't want Mike disagreeing or agreeing with you anymore. Mike, you and Phil, I'm going to put you in there, and I'm going to put Phil in there, and Yinz guys are not going to be allowed to talk. I'm going to put you right here in front of my desk, and I'm going to put him in the back. That way Yinz can't communicate with each other. That's going to be the next step. Is that what you want? Is that what you want? Just kidding. Go ahead.
No.
No. So, Truth Thong says this: Steeler fans are the real losers under mediocre Mike. No chance at a Super Bowl. And for the Steelers, that's come on, we could sympathize, and we could. But the thing is, 10 years gone by, we're not even a thought for the Steelers. That's certainly the longest time in our history in the Super Bowl era that we've been down and out, guys. I think everybody is justified in being upset with what's going on. People say every year, you guys want to win the Super Bowl every year. No, I would like to win a playoff game in the decade. That'd be nice for starters. The Washington Commanders were in the NFC Championship game last year. A win in 10 years would not be a stretch I hardly think that we would be spoiled. Jamal says they're speaking French. Oui. Looks ass. Christopher says Tomlin does not have the courage to bench A-Rod. Watch, MVS will be on the field against Cincy, and he will get at least 5 targets. Oh, he is his boy. They played together in Green Bay, so... Kenneth Jones says, I'd rather play Burrow than Flacco. You know what? At this point, maybe I would too, Ken. Just because he's been out, you know? He's got to be somewhat rusty. Well, we thought that about the old man too last time when he joined the team 2 days prior, and he ends up carving us up. So I don't even know what to think anymore. Jamal says, Rooney is trash, man. Field of Steel says, yeah, Teflon Don is going to be happy if Burrow plays. Well, remember how pissed he was when he found out that Joe Flacco was going to play?
Yeah, he was nonplussed. Or none too pleased.
None too pleased. John says Bengals, Lions, and Bears. Oh, fucking my. Anti-M. I like it. Bengals and Lions and Bears. Oh, my. Ravens and Browns and Dolphins. Oh, my. Cody says Kenny Pickett could have played for the Chargers and they would have had beat us. Herbert didn't do anything spectacular. And you know what? His numbers weren't great. You're not wrong, Cody.
No,
It wasn't like he was able to slice us up like that. RB says, hey, watch it, Mike. Phil will have to stop sniffing and put down TJ's game, use jockstrap, and give you a talking to, fairly criticizing Daddy. Man. I'm going to continue, but you on the board, you guys continue.
I'm not going to say a word. RB's trying to get me in trouble by Ryan now.
Kenneth says this, I'm actually excited about us getting to the point to let Howard take snaps and train. I wouldn't mind seeing it. Do we still believe? What do we think, guys? Again, I mean, yes, everyone's giving their opinion, but at what point? At what point do you let the rookie who didn't get to play in the preseason get a couple snaps? Cody says nothing like watching the other team laugh in our faces and break milestones. As a matter of fact, I know they break another milestone. Keenan Allen gets his milestone catch against us. It seems like it's every other week with teams and their milestones. Steelers are like the posterized team in the background of every team's great accomplishment anymore. They might look nice in the future, though. People say, look at that. Remember, he did that against the Steelers. Remember, they used to be a good team. Jamal says this. He says, oh, my God, that was a bad performance from Aaron. He just threw the ball high all night. He did. That high release, that early release.
Those balls.
What does high tell you? What does high tell you? We all play baseball. We don't play football. What happens when the ball goes high? That means you released it too early. Why are you releasing the ball too early? Because you have people in your ass and you're dancing around in the pocket like you're a rookie. Everybody, you throw the baseball too early, it goes high. You hold on to it a little, that extra second, it goes low. It's physics. It's science. Yindra Joe says, hey, what if we turned this into a Eagles podcast? Would everybody feel better? Tortilla says, I lost in fantasy to a Chargers fan. It was absolutely humiliating. Jamal says, we were here for life, gang. Absolutely, dude. And that's the thing. We got to take the good with the good and the bad with the bad. That's how again, I'm a fair person. I truly am a fair person. And sometimes being fair doesn't sound great, but this is what it is. We're losing right now. We can't talk Super Bowl. I can tell you that. Make it better and we'll talk better. The team makes it better. We'll talk better. Right. That's all we can do. Let's see. Kind of says we have enough draft picks to throw some against the wall to see if they stick for sure. And again, they're banking on this. This is going to be a big day. The draft is going to be huge in Pittsburgh. It should be monumentally, historically, that's what they're planning at least. So, again, we'll take a look. We'll take a look as we do move forward. John says the Steelers are like having a bipolar partner every day. One isn't sure who is really there.
100% nailed it.
Yeah. Cody says, love it. Vanilla talk, that talk. Tortilla, Vanilla Thunder for president. There you go, Mike. You got your first president endorsement by Tortilla.
I take, yes, Tortilla. Tortilla, you can be my running mate.
Now, I'm going to go a little bit more with what John is saying. John said Mike was in a coma. That's more the way I saw it, but president, okay.
Dude, like when I go to social
He's
situation
leading.
like that, I tend to pregame hard and then
Have
I
him come
like
to your
level off.
district in California first, and let him be mayor first. Let's try that out first before we give him the.
I was soaring with the Eagles, and I tried to drown my sorrows, and my brain kind of short circuited to where I was just watching stuff, and I could not talk. My mouth was dry.
It was 2.5 hours. It was. I rewatched the show last night. It was at the 1 hour mark. You and Phil started going at it. The 1 hour mark, and it went literally all the way to the 3.5 hour mark when the show ended. It was nothing but you and Phil the Steel saying, the offense needs to do something. The defense needs to do something. Aaron Rodgers didn't do anything. TJ, it literally went. You weren't even replying to anything that anybody was saying or anything that was going on. Every play, you just managed to say that the defense wasn't doing anything. And
yeah. We were losing the game. I was trying to entertain myself at that point. I'm not gonna lie.
John says vanilla extract.
And Steele was giving it right back. So I'll just keep going.
He was extracted. The vanilla extract is what we're gonna call that. That's brilliant. That will be the vanilla extract game, and that's what that game will always be referred to as long as I'm alive. 0 points by the Steelers offense. They
got 7. They got 10. They got 10.
Roman Wilson did save that stat line. GP shaking my head. GP was better than DK. I don't know. Is the Cowboys any better off than we are? I don't know if they are. I thought last I checked they weren't. But again, but point taken. Believe me, Jamal, I'm not arguing that. GP, it was very productive. And again, these dropsies with this veteran. CVS Arena. Phil still says 3 and out show by Steelers offense last night. It sure was. Third down, they converted twice. I was trying to get up to the end here. You know what? Let me get Mike. I want to get into some numbers. I am going to get everybody in, but let me get to some numbers, guys. We're going to take a look at how things played out by number last night. We talked about by performance. Let's see if the numbers could maybe change the way we think of how this game played out. I highly doubt it, but we're going to get into it, Mike. Let's take a look at the team stats and the player stats for the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Chargers, for that matter, as of last game. Let's start on the team stats. I'm going to go right here. Losing every single category again. This time to the Chargers. Total yards, the Chargers 314, the Pittsburgh Steelers 221. Passing yards, again, he didn't set the world on fire, but the Chargers had 199 yards, the Steelers 148 yards. Rushing yards, 115 for a backup running back in a beat-up line. Again, all pros are out. 115 to 73. Yards per play, a little closer in margin, 4.6 for the Chargers, 4.4 for the Steelers. First downs, 18 for the Chargers, 11 for the Steelers. Third down efficiency, 6 for 17, which ain't great for the Chargers, but when the other team has 2 for 11, that makes 6 for 17 not that bad. Fourth down efficiency, the Steelers again 0 for 1. Another goose egg while going forward inside the 10-yard line. The Chargers 1 for 1. They made it happen. Total plays, almost 20 more plays. The Chargers 69, the Steelers 50.
Nice.
We did sack their quarterback more times. We sacked him 5. They sacked our guy 3. They punted the ball away 6 times. We punted 4. And they were also penalized a little bit more than us, Mike. They had 8 penalties called against them. The Chargers did 8 for 55 yards. The Steelers had 4 for 29 yards. The turnovers, totally one-sided. They turned the ball over none. The Steelers, 1 fumble loss, 2 interceptions. And also, Mike, the game time of possession almost 2/3 as they have 37-35 and the Steelers 22-25. I guess keeping the offense off the field, they just couldn't do it. They couldn't keep the LA offense off the field. The same way I can't remember to ever say the LA Chargers. So right. We're all guilty, guys. We're all guilty. Let's get to the player statistics, Mike. Of course, this is how the Steelers looked. Aaron Rodgers, 16 for 31, 161 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 INTs. Jaylen Warren, 14 carries, 70 yards. 5 yards per carry, no touchdowns. The only other carries was 2 runs by Caleb Johnson, which he yielded 3 yards on 2 carries. The receiver position, the receivers DK Metcalf led the way. 3 catches, 35 yards. 3 catches, 35 yards, no touchdown. That's receiver number 1. Roman Wilson, guys, 2 catches, 35 yards, 1 touchdown. Fryermuth, 3 catches, 33 yards. Warren, 2 catches, 21 yards. Washington, 1 catch, 15. Calvin Austin, our number 2 receiver, 2 catches, 14 yards. Gainwell, 2 catches, 4 yards. And Jonnu Smith, the big pickup that was supposed to be the big playmaker in this offense with no wide receiver 2. 1 catch, 4 yards. Dropped a few passes. One that certainly hit the ground where I thought he should have made that catch. Defense goes. Peyton Wilson leads the way with 7 tackles. Benton has a sack. Watt has a sack. Herbig has a sack. Smitty, 2 sacks. Smitty, 2 sacks, guys. He led the way. Again, he had sack last week. Smitty looking good. Coming back, still very injury prone. I can't get comfortable with Smitty, Mike, because again, he has 2 games, 3 sacks, 2 games. He'll be out next week with a groin or a hammy or an ankle or a knee or something. That's just kind of been the way that he's been going.
He has like 4 sacks in the last 7 quarters of play.
All right, so we'll take it. If he can stay on the field, is the only thing.
Yeah, if he can stay on the field, man,
that's his biggest challenge.
Yeah,
his biggest challenge is staying on the field, and it's not by performance. Returning the kickoffs, Mike Gainwell had 2 returns, 61 yards. Williams had 1 return, 23 yards. Punt return, Williams had 2 returns for 11. Chris Boswell misses a kick, guys. He goes 1 for 2 with a 59-yard long. And, of course, Corliss Waitman not missing a step, Mike. He's still averaging 45 to 50 yards per punt. He goes 4 punts last night, 183 yards, 2 inside the 20. Maybe we'll give Corliss Waitman the game ball. He's the only one that seems to be doing his job effectively, right? Certainly last night.
Exactly. Yeah, he has been the only one.
I mean, I haven't had a bitch about Corliss Waitman once this year. Let's give this guy the MVP. Let's look at what the Chargers did on the offensive side of the ball. Justin Herbert, 20 for 33, 220 yards, 1 touchdown. Vidal, 25 carries, 95 yards. So as good as Warren looked with his 70 yards, their backup to the backup managed to get 95 yards and a touchdown. Herbert he ran the ball 5 times for 19 yards. The receivers, it looked like this, yardage-wise, McHonkey, Mike, he has 4 catches, 107 yards and a touchdown, but by catches, Johnson led the way with 5 catches, but he only had 42 yards, no touchdowns. On defense, Henley led the way with 6 tackles. Dante Jackson, former Pittsburgh Steeler, the guy that we chased out of town because we wanted some of these bigger names, he gets an interception against us, pretty much puts a nail in the coffin. Mickens, interception. Dupree, a sack. Khalil Mack, the sack in the end zone, of course, on the safety early in the game. And their field goal. Dicker, he also missed a field goal. So, we could say that we missed one, they missed one. Is it Acrisure Stadium? Is it the Sod? I don't know what's going on, but both of these kickers did miss. But he also, Mike, hits a long of 59 last night as well. So that's the numbers of how things look, guys. Again, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they have the Cincinnati Bengals coming to town. As of right now, are 5.5-point favorites. The Steelers are. The Bengals coming in with a 3-6 record. Mike, that's the only thing I can think of is the Bengals have a 3-6 record. Is the only reason I could think is why we are 5.5-point favorites. It has nothing to do with the last time we played them. It has nothing to do with the game we just played last night. It has nothing to do with Cincinnati having a week off to get healthy and watch us play. It has nothing to do with any of that. Mike, I think it just simply relies on the 3-5 record. Other than that, it doesn't even make any sense that the Steelers would be 5.5-point favorites at this point, Mike.
Yeah, it makes zero sense for us to be favored in this game. Yeah, they're gonna kick our asses.
Let's take a quick look over what the standings look like as we speak. I'm having less fun doing this every week. I got to be honest with you. I'm having less fun doing the standings because it is getting dangerously close in our division for sure. In our division, the Steelers are 5-4, 1 game behind us. The Baltimore Ravens, who were down and out, were 1-5, are now 4-5. The Bengals, who were idle, was 3-6. The Browns, they managed to lose to the Jets. I got to be honest, the CBS pick'ems were brutal this week. Hey, we still got our wins, but there were some games that everybody picked, so you knew that they were games that didn't go the way that they were supposed to, I guess. But that's why we do it. That's why we pick them on the CBS pick'em. The Patriots. The Patriots, Mike, they improved their lead in the division because the Buffalo Bills lose to the Dolphins. Where the hell am I? What's going on? The Patriots 8-2. The Bills 6-3. The Dolphins 3-7. The Jets 2-7. The two teams at the bottom of that division find a way to win football games this weekend, Mike. This is not the most bizarre year in my life. I don't know what is.
That Browns Jets game was a complete clusterfuck, and it was the most fun I've had watching a football game in a long ass time. When two bad teams get together, good things happen. It was a shit show, and it was great. Every single snap was an adventure. For me, it was the most entertaining game of the year, by far. A guy knocks his own teammate out as John someone out walking backwards, steps on his own teammate's dick. It had everything. It was great. My favorite game of the year.
You can't say it's everything until someone's dick gets stepped on. Is what I extracted from that conversation.
Like the guy was laying there passed out. Guy steps on his dick and he twitches. My dad goes, "Okay, well he's at least not paralyzed."
Well, there was twitching too. So
yeah.
All right.
Hey, he moved. Step on the dick. He ain't paralyzed.
The AFC South looks like this. The Colts are top of the division with an 8-2 record. The Jaguars 5-4. The Texans right behind them with a 4-5, and the Titans sitting in the basement with a 1-8. In the AFC West, the Broncos are 8-2. That's right. The Broncos that you watched beat the Raiders barely 10-7 on Thursday are 8-2. This is why I thought that we were still in it. This is why I think we might still be in it. Who's going to be the less inconsistent team when it matters, I guess, is how this might play out. Chargers in second place, guys, 7-3. Chiefs 5-4. And finally, the Raiders into the basement with a 2-7 record, guys. Let's hop over to the NFC. Eagles in first place, 6-2. They play tonight as they face off and travel to Green Bay to play the Packers at Lambeau Field. That is an 8:15 start tonight on Monday Night Football. Second place, 3 wins, Dallas Cowboys. Them boys, guys. We have 5 wins. So say what you want about Metcalf and George. It's kind of working in our favor, kind of, sort of.
Hey, they keep losing, man, and we get a better draft pick. I'll take it.
The Commander, I mean, that's fine for them, but, losing in the meantime sucks. Because this was the future last year, and last year was the future for the year before. So, if the future continues this way, it can't be good, but let's continue on. The Commanders 3-7, and finally the Giants in the basement in the NFC East. The Packers, who, again, they play tonight against the Eagles in a pretty big game in the NFC. They sit atop the division in the NFC North with a 5-2-1. Lions and Bears, oh my, both 6-3. Who would have thought the Bears would have the same record as the Lions this year? Not this guy. Finally, Mike, the Minnesota Vikings, a team I thought was going to do a little better. They're in the basement. Yeah. They're 4-5. What a season. The Buccaneers in first place in that NFC South, 6-3. Panthers 5-5 in second place. Falcons 3-6. The Saints 2-8. Finally, the NFC West, Seattle 7-2. The Rams 7-2. The 49ers 6-4. And finally, the basement dwellers out west in the NFC, the Cardinals at 3-6. That is what your divisions look like around the NFL as of right now. Again, one more game in Week 10 tonight as the Philadelphia Eagles make the trek to Wisconsin to play the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field. Mike, any comments on that standings?
Yeah, just a couple surprises. I didn't think the Cowboys would be that bad at 3-5. Panthers, I'm shocked that they're playing as well. And like you said, man, that AFC North or NFC North, excuse me, I did not see that division falling that way.
I did not either, guys.
Minnesota being that bad, like Chicago, I thought they'd be a little bit improved the way they addressed their O-line this year after they addressed the skill positions the year before. I'm a little surprised where they are, but not that surprised. I thought they would be better, but not like where they're at. But hey, you know what? Good for them, man. They're getting better.
This, in case anybody's wondering, and I know that people at this point don't even want to hear it, but this is what your playoff picture looks like at the moment, guys. At roughly halfway through the season, the Colts are still the number 1 seed. At 8-2, the Broncos moved up to number 2. The Patriots, number 3. The Steelers, still number 4, with 39% chance to make the playoffs. Like the other 3 division leaders, 92, 91, and 95% chance to make the playoffs. Of course, the Steelers, division leading team, 39% chance to make the playoffs. And the Ravens, They have a 73% make the playoffs, and they are not in the playoff spot right now. Matter of fact, they're 10. They are 10 out of 16, and they have about a 30-some% chance of better making the playoffs than the Steelers. So this is where we are, guys. We could make excuses, we could try to explain it, but it is what it is at this point.
Yep.
This is as inconsistent as can be, is what the Pittsburgh Steelers are and what they have been this season. Fixing all these different things, you just have to fix consistency, Mike. You just have to be able to do things on a more consistent level.
Yeah, they'd have probably 2 more wins now if they were more consistent in their play on offense and on defense. Right now, recently, it's the offense. It has to become more consistent. But like complementary football, it seems when one side figures it out, that next game, the other side of the ball forgets what they're doing. But that, like you said, man, that goes back to the consistency thing there. If they can figure that out, this team can win some games. They can be competitive. They can see that they're able to hang with some of these teams. Like they were hanging with the Chargers for a long time because the defense kept them in it. But that offense shit the bed. If the offense was hitting on some of those balls, man, I think we pull out a victory in this game. But they can't because they're inconsistent, and that's why they are average at best.
All right, let's get back to the board, Mike. We do have to grade the positions today. We're going to get to that here shortly. I don't want to leave anybody out on the terrible board on this Monday following our week 10 matchup with the Chargers. Let's jump back on here right where Phil still says 3-and-out show by the Steelers offense last night. It was a 3-and-out show. Again, 3 third down conversions. 2. We made 2. We converted on. Mark Malone says I'd let Roman play flanker from here on out. Kenneth says odds are good. We see MVS next week. Old Juan Valdes-Scantling might get a look. Jason Atkins says that the defense played really good for the most part to hold them to 13 points until the fourth quarter. The safety was on the offense. 0 for 9 on third down until the garbage time. 38 damn minutes or defense was out. John says GP didn't want to stay. DK was willing to come for the bag. Other wide receivers don't want to come to Pittsburgh. Next. Jamal says Tapioca is the worst shit ever. I agree.
Don't be hating on Tapioca, man.
Well, we're not hating on your kid. We're hating on the tapioca pudding itself. It's weird. It's lumpy. It's got the unidentified lumps in it.
I like a good tapioca every once in a while.
Well, you eat that tapioca because Tortilla is calling you Tapioca Thunder. Cody says, 5 minutes of Jalen's dick. Tortilla, I haven't zoomed in that much since Derpy showed his tits live.
You sick bastard.
Tortilla.
You sick son of a bitch. You just made the friend list for that one, buddy.
Also, Cody says they zoomed out on that shit. Jamal says, I think we did lose that game when Broderick Jones tackled A-Rod. Oh, was that Cincinnati? For some reason, I thought that was during a win. I could be wrong.
Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah, because it was a Freiermuth touchdown to take the lead.
Okay. Cody says, hell no, I want to win a Super Bowl every year. 2009 was a long time ago, John says. Bingo says, I don't give a fuck what Juan Valdes-Scantling gets. If he gets 1,000 targets, just catch the fucking thing, assuming, of course, that they're fucking catchable. Cody says, watching Devontae Adams fuck up his back made my back hurt. I didn't see. Did he fuck up his shit? Mike, do you know?
What was that?
Are you still thinking about arguing Phil the Steel over there? Is that what's going on? This is what happened last night about 19 times. I said, right, Mike? And you were like, well, that damn defense, they can't do shit. They're not stopping anybody. What did TJ Watt do? Did he? But that was what I was dealing with last night. So this is the guy that says he caught every detail of the game. Let me get let's see. Jamal says, laugh my ass off. Damn, didn't McHonky have the best game of his career? I wouldn't have.
He did. I think McHonky did.
15, 20 yards? Certainly wasn't a bad game. 2 missed touchdowns, 1 to CA3 and 1 to DK. It's Jamal. Jamal also says 2 missed. I'm sorry. Christopher says this. He says Omar has egg on his face by not drafting a wide receiver and trading George Pickens for peanuts. He certainly did put us in a good position for our wide receiver room. And I made this argument early. Everyone said I was crazy. They said Scotty and Skoranek are good enough. Scotty has 1 catch, and Skoranek's a special teamer. What the hell do I know? Bennett Overfield, I do want to say welcome to the show. Great to have you on the board. Bennett says Seattle's very good at getting rid of players at the right time, thus the trade of Metcalf. It sure seems like it, man. They sent Geno Smith down to Vegas, and he stinks. And now they got Sam Darnold. So I think Bennett, I think he hit the nail on the head. Andrew Joe says, no way in hell the Steelers are keeping all their draft picks. Should have traded for a wide receiver by deadline. Tortilla says, a vote for Vanilla Thunder is a vote for beer fountains. There you go. Beer
Hell
fountain.
yeah, brother.
Also, Jamal says, laugh my ass off. Imagine doing a show with Izzy, Ryan. Like I said, I have no problem with Izzy. I just prefer your show. I get more from it. I don't know. That's just how I would explain it. Also, John is saying this. John says, I was waiting for Ryan to have a meltdown. Well, you know what? I almost had a meltdown when they placed me 2 inches from Mike. And listen, I'm not saying I don't want to sit next to Mike, but don't you think we were kind of extremely close to one another?
I'm trying to touch you.
I would have liked that to have a couch and not a love seat, but that's how it went. And why did Derpy get his own seat? I would have rather had my own seat.
I didn't want to sit next to Derpy. What the hell did I ever do to you to have to sit next to Derpy?
Well, nothing. But again, sitting that close to any dude always, I don't know. If we were at a game and we paid $150 for tickets, it's one thing. But I willfully had to sit by that close to another guy. Anyway, beside the point, let's move on.
You loved it. Don't lie.
Cody says, haha, Somber was at that game. Poor guy. That's right. Somber did go to the game.
That's why we haven't heard from him since. He's still there sitting in his seat in shock.
Jamal says he showed up to the show at Cody Silva. He was cool about it. Okay. Cody says this, the watch party was fun. Y'all going to do it again. You know what? We have mixed feelings on that. And again, if today is Monday, we're getting all the information out. Maybe tomorrow we'll talk a little bit more about the watch party itself. It was fun. There was plenty of positives. Yes. But I have to talk about, we're going to talk a lot more about the event itself tomorrow. Probably. We'll probably do it again. Christopher says they doubled George Pickens when he was with us and still put up good numbers. Metcalf looks like a has-been in our offense. Kenneth says, I sense the unveiling of a new coach next season, regardless of this season's outcome. Before the draft, we will know. Michael Johnson, I do want to say welcome to the board. Great having Michael Johnson on the board. He says, is there a scenario where they could keep? They could have just kept GP and DK together, which is what we all loved. As Steeler fans, we were like, dude, we got DK and GP. There's nobody going to stop us. But guess what? I don't think GP wanted to be here. It said earlier on the board.
I don't think he did either.
Yeah. I think it was just too much irreconcilable differences between the organization and GP for that to work. We could have got GP, but he might have been a major pain in the ass. Because when things were good, he was kind of a pain in the ass. That's the only issue. I mean, do you want him down here moping around, walking past plays and all those kind of things that we've seen in the past? I mean, you know what? It would follow suit for what's going on this year for the Steelers. Just not good. A lot of good things happening. But I think that I don't think that was a possibility. Even though we all wanted it, it seemed like there was too much of a difference between the two parties.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think he would be freaking out the way you're seeing the ball get spread around and how Rodgers isn't going deep with it. And that's where George excels, is on those deep passes, whether it be out on the sideline or in the middle of the field. He wasn't going to get those catches at all. He would probably be freaking out right now.
Jamal says, yeah, Finch seemed to love it until the food looked good. At least the food was amazing. You know what? Jamal, I wish you were there. I gotta be honest with you. The food, I would love for you to try it. I thought everything was really good. Derpy did a great job, and so did Finch and his wife. I gotta give big thank yous to them guys. Vegas, what's up, bro? Great seeing my man Vegas. Vegas says, Roy, we're gonna need a bigger boat. Schneider was born on this date in 1932. Jamal says, facts at Michael Johnson. What the fuck were we thinking? The fans brought that on ourselves, getting rid of GP. Sholoman, I do want to say Sholoman92, welcome to the terrible board. Sholoman92 says Chargers running back Vidal didn't even make the 53-man roster. He's running back 4. You're right. Hampton and Najee. I don't even know what number 3 was, but number 4 on their depth chart carves us up, guys. Field of Steel says, damn, Steelers offense suck.
They was trash.
Here we go. And not a good
What?
here
I
we
was
go.
agreeing with them.
I know, but this is where it starts. He plants the seed with you because he knows the seed is going to grow and it's going to turn into this.
Trash like TJ Watt until garbage time. That's when they all got their numbers.
And then he was drinking, and Mike was drinking. Then he's got to give you the whole spiel about how he's intelligent enough to figure this out. And it was 2.5 hours.
I was pushing all the buttons I could find.
At least I'm intelligent. I thought, oh, this only went on for 2.5 hours with you two. I could have just cried my eyes out. Phyllis still says Rodgers threw 2 interceptions. Damn. Also, 14 carries isn't enough for Warren. You're right, but again, the way the game played, we kind of had to start passing the ball, guys. Late in the game, you can't continue to run, and I understand, they took the heat and they wanted to make that improvement, but at some point, you got to be able to discern, when you have to maybe start passing. But the passing game wasn't there, so who knows? A lot about this game really could be said. Tortilla, we got to put the Snow Bunnies courtside like they do in the NBA to make players better. That would make me better as a fan. I love Snow Bunnies.
I like the way you think. I like the cut of your jib.
Cody says this ballin'. Also following this up, Michael Johnson does say this. Michael says Rodgers has tiptoed around it, but he's consistently saying guys aren't open. Where is the disconnect between our Hall of Fame quarterback and coaching staff for trade deadline deal? Apparently, these conversations don't come up in the important conversations. We grabbed Juan Valdes-Scantling. I mean, if we need coffee from Columba, where the fuck did coffee come from? Columba. I'm just thinking of that show Durfee's dad was watching last night. He had Columba on all night.
Durfee's dad had the best night of anyone. He got to eat, hang out in quiet, watch Columbo, and not worry about the Steelers. He had the time of his life.
Yeah, man.
I was actually jealous.
John says no turnovers, 3 against them equal an L. Yeah, we won the turnover game last week and it won. Kenneth says Queen won't be resigned unless he's cheap. John says the punt return turnover was the final nail. Michael Johnson says Juan Valdes-Scantling. The answer, no. I think that was a move just to satisfy the Hall of Famer because it literally makes no other sense at all to do what they did. It was maybe quieting down the fans by making a move and getting a wide receiver because we've only been wanting one for 2 years. Come on. Shlomo Man 92 says I saw a Charger beat reporter tweet. This was the worst offense output the Chargers had all year and won by double digits. Shake my head. Jamal says that Kenneth Jones, yeah, PQ loses the green dot. I'm sure of it. Kenneth says he says this. Vidal had 25 carries. John says they won the second and third string tackles and running backs. Feel the Steel Ryan favored because after the Bungles lost, Bungles were divided in the locker room shitting on each other. Kenneth says at Jamal, he certainly should. He overruns so many plays. You know what? He hasn't thrilled me in his time here. PK. You know what? I like PQ. And sometimes from time to time I will defend him. But he certainly wasn't what I was expecting.
No, especially not this. Like, talk about consistency. He's someone who's been really inconsistent in his time here because he's had games where you're like, oh, okay, this is why we went out and got him. Where he's just a tackling machine, getting the defense set, and then there's other games where he's completely lost.
This is one of my favorite. I got to be honest with you. This is one of my favorite comments of the day, and this might be the game ball on the board at least. Bingo Winchester says, "Welcome to my world. Constantly trying not to step on my own dick." That's right. Mine is 2 inches, baby, from the floor. Steve Allen. Steve Allen. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the board. I do want to say that. He says because Aaron Rodgers hasn't actually done much to help the Steelers win any game. Tortilla says Rodgers has been solid. Last night was a bad game for him, but he still has like 18. He has 17 touchdowns in 9 games, which is good. And at the top of the show, I made a point to give him the credit. It's not that I'm not giving him credit. We're talking about the things that have us in the position that we're in. And what I've seen in the last 3 out of 4 games was losses.
Yep.
The guy can have 40 touchdowns at this point. If you're losing games weekend, 3 out of 4 games, that's not good. So, yes, he's doing well. Yes, he should get his flowers for that. But on the other hand, you also got to be honest with the situation as well. And he looked like shit last night. He could have 19, he could have 30, he could have 53 touchdowns. It's the fact of the matter is he didn't look good last night, guys.
He looked god awful last night. It was painful to watch.
Andrew Joe says you can add up Wilson Pickett and Fields and not have the touchdown numbers Rodgers had. You're right, but you know what? This team might not make 500. So what do you make of that? If this team doesn't make 500, and at this point, guys, we're 5-4 with 8 games left. Cincy, at Chicago, Buffalo, at Baltimore, Miami, at Detroit, at Cleveland, and Baltimore. So we got to win. We got to go 8-8. We got to go 4-4. I'm sorry. If we win half of these games, we will finish at 500. So there you go. There is the goals right there. The goals are big, guys. 4-4 against these last 8 games. One of them being on prime time. Half of them being on the road. So let's see. Jamal says that Kenneth, every play he overruns. It's like he purposely does it not to pursue tackles, just misses. And his out of the play is pathetic. That's Patrick Queen. Again, I wish that I loved him a little bit more. He's making it hard to love him. Jamal says Aaron lost us this game. He was antsy all night. He was very antsy. And again, I think he knew that front seven was going to be tough with the Chargers. He's not dumb. He was antsy all night, never got his feet under him. But again, that offensive line got thrashed. And this offensive line has been playing. I'm like, this is the problem as well. You win a game like against the Colts, all of a sudden those little things about the offensive line go away. You're like, well, we're winning. They're blocking for the quarterback. But now when you lose, boy, do they get magnified. As Aaron Rodgers was barely able to stand in the pocket.
It wasn't their best effort in pass protection. Run game, I thought they did well. Pass pro was not there, but there were times when it was there and he had time to throw, and both of them in the pass game were terrible. It was just a bad look on the pass game all around.
Now, let me stay on the board here for a little bit. I do see Somber coming up, so I don't want to miss out on some Somber time. John says the Steelers get colder faster than McDonald's fries. I love hot McDonald's fries, but you're right. Fuck, they get cold so fast. McHonky, Jamal. Let's see. John says Mike last night. So you said getting turnovers was a bad thing, right? Right.
They are. You get turnovers is a bad thing.
Manuel.
The Chargers are saying the same thing, guys. We can't rely on getting turnovers.
And they did not. They did not let any up, but they got them all, and they won the game. Manuel Herrera, I do want to say welcome to Manuel on the terrible board. Welcome, my friend. It was just sad. We basically got shut out yesterday. 3 points the whole game. 1 giveaway touchdown in the fourth, so they can regain possession. John says Ryan and Larry David have the same personality. I don't know what that means, but I like Larry David and Jerry and all them guys.
See, it's very apt what you said, but now his ego is going to be.
Well, it's not, because I don't even understand why I am. That must be how much I am.
You and Larry David, man, it's so miserable.
Well, yeah. Oh, that I get.
So miserable.
Manuel says 1 step forward, 2 steps back. That's basically been the Steelers guys. Somber, there he is, my man. What's up, Somber? He says, start Howard. I've seen enough. Just kidding. Rodgers had a fucking stinker, man. Holy fuck. And Somber, you were at the game. We were worried, but Jamal said that he had seen from you since. So we knew you were okay. Somber, what in a nutshell, how did it look in person out in Los Angeles last night? Mark Malone says this. He says they could have put Derpy next to you. You know what?
We should have.
I would have liked to have that seat that Derpy had. Why did he have that seat? That's what I want to know.
Because Derpy was running the show from his computer. That was his producer's studio.
All right. And I do say I got to give him all the credit. Derpy was doing amazing last night. I don't want to not make that known. Manuel says this. He says no one to throw the ball to. Mark Malone says fucker probably would have been rubbing on his nipple, rubbing nipples on you, right? That's why we isolated Derpy. To be honest, nobody wanted them nipples touching him.
Exactly.
Because once he starts stretching them and pulling them, ay. John says Ryan wants a seating diagram with measurements briefing before. You know what I truly honestly did? I said to Mike, I said, let's get there early because I want to check out the situation, what's going on. I have to find out that I got to make sure the seating is right, the cameras. But I guess that's what happens when you let somebody else host an event, which was the case. Tortilla says this. I'd rather lose GP and Minka than lose without them. Lose GP and Minka. Okay.
I'd rather lose without those two because those two are Minka's veiled, whiny, bitchy comments after every loss got annoying really fast. Like, bro, do something back there.
Jason, what's up, dude? Jason Jakowski. I do want to say welcome to you on the terrible board. My man, great to see. He says Arthur Smith is pathetic. Somber says run pass, run pass, run pass, run pass. I felt like I was watching Canada. Right.
Who remembers Kevin Kilbride back in the day?
What kind of deflection is that? We're talking about these two gentlemen, and go ahead.
He's always the one I refer back to because it was the same thing: run, pass, punt, run, pass, punt, run, pass, punt. It's like yes, he's my that's my PTSD moment when I see run, pass is Kevin Kilbride offense. So,
I thought it was. I thought your PTS moment was you going, oh, the defense ain't doing nothing. What has TJ Watt done? You literally said that 35 times in a row. I could have just screamed.
Well, what did TJ Watt do?
I don't know. You know what? I don't care anymore. If I hear his name again, I'm going to fucking throw up.
Ryan, you need a good lot lizard, brother.
Wade Johnson, my man. Wade Johnson won. He says, hey, guys, I was at the game yesterday as well. It was rough. And I've been to these kind of games before, too. And it's just, you're just hoping. Okay, it just takes one more play. All we need is just to get this. Oh, if we just make one more pass, get a first down, we'll be good. All the what ifs, they just start dwindling away. They dwindle away to nothing. Those are the kind of games I've been there, Somber. I feel for you, bro. Way, I feel for you as well, sir. Jeez, oh man. I wish it would have been better for you guys. John says this. I ate 2 quarts of ice cream while watching the game, smoking weed watching that game. I needed a lot of both to get through it. I believe me. I understand. Mark Malone says, well, we still had to be with Derby. And you know what? It was a lot of fun being with Derby. It was fun. And I got to be honest with you, he was surprising. His work ethic is better than I expected. He was all over the place. He's not so much the physical worker. He gets things set up and he knows what he's doing to an extent. I was happy. I was happy with Derpy's performance. Christopher wants to know what kind of flavor, John, your ice cream was. What flavor ice cream, John? Also, Christopher wants to know. John says 2 pints of black cherry, 1 pint of blueberry cobbler, and 1 pint of pumpkin chunk. My mouth literally salivating as I'm reading these.
I know, right? Now I want some ice cream.
Tortilla, I might have to snort an 8 ball if we lose this week. Christopher says, oh, sounds delicious. Hopefully, I don't know if that's about the ice cream or the 8 ball, but Christopher says, oh, sounds delicious. I'm imagining it's probably the ice cream. Christopher says, I am purely Rocky Road, bro. And that's another great ice cream. Tortilla says, I said I'd stop if we beat the Colts, but after this last performance, I might need to put the cape back on. Hey, bro, got to do what you got to do, man. I am not against doing what you got to do. Mark Malone says, Rocky Road cocaine. Mark Malone also says, chop that shit up a little. And Christopher says, no, of course. The ice cream, of course. Somber says, long story, but in a nutshell, family medical emergency didn't end up going. And with the game going the way that it went, he's glad. And well, we hope that everything's all right with you, my friend, and your family. I hate to hear anything bad. Tortilla says, who's cocaine? Mark Malone.
Cocaine!
Christopher said it sounded delicious after you said you'd snort. I know. That's why I played that angle for a moment, but Christopher has been nothing but classy and upright on the board, so I didn't want to paint him into that corner. Tortilla says, nah, I'm a Pepsi guy myself. Phil says, Ryan, you're going to dream 90. Why am I catching the strays on the 90 biz? That's all I want to know. I did not say one bad thing about 90 last night. That was Christopher says, guys, what was your favorite 80s movie? 80s movie.
so many to choose
There
from.
really is, and that's the only reason that I'm not answering, because I don't
so
want to
many
miss
categories too, man.
and I don't want to really miss a really good one, and somebody say, "Oh, well, this one," and then I'll go, "Oh, that one actually is my favorite." My favorite. Listen,
Die Hard.
Ghostbusters, for me. I would.
I
I
don't,
wanted to.
that, now I want to change my answer to Steel saying the Goonies. Like,
All
there's
great.
so many
80s.
good ones.
80s had a lot of great movies, guys. And I wanted to be a Ghostbuster. I had the proton pack and everything else as a
Fuck
kid.
yeah,
so
brother.
I was. I'm going to go with Ghostbusters because I had the videotape, the beta. It was on the Beta Vision, and I watched it so much it wore the tape out. I loved the Ghostbusters as a kid, so I'm going to stick with that. Christopher, that is my favorite movie. Christopher says, "Can't Buy Me Love." Listen, this is what we're going to do, Mike. We have to get into this now. We're at the 2 hour mark. We haven't got into our grades for the day. It's report card time. Yes, absolutely. Back to the Future. The classics in the 80s.
There's too many good ones.
There really is. We could do a whole 2 hours on movies if we wanted to go that route. Mike, it's time.
You know what? The Steelers keep losing.
Yeah.
We're trying to shoot an 80s nostalgia.
Full Metal Jacket. Field of Dreams.
Platoon.
Goonies. Guys, it really is somber. You couldn't weird guys. All these movies are fucking amazing, and this is just the start. Mike Tomlin's Day Off as his favorite movie. Guys, let's get to the grades. Yeah. Mike, time to pass out report cards to our Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to go through the positions as we do every week, and you're going to grade them just as you were the teacher, Mike, with an A, a B, a C, a D, or an F. You can do minuses, pluses if you want for effect. Full Metal Jacket is one of my favorite movies all time. Mark Malone. But again, I'm gonna stick with Ghostbusters to be safe because that is probably what I watched the most as a child. Let's get to the grades, Mike. Here we go. Quarterback play. E.T. Christopher's E.T. Another one. Mike, quarterback play. We're talking Aaron Rodgers. That's all we got to go by. Mike, what do you give Aaron Rodgers for his performance last night in Los Angeles?
F minus. If I could go lower, I would.
Okay. And that'd be a red F minus then. That's lower than an F minus, is the red F minus.
Oh, it's in the red pen. I got the red pen out, brother.
That's my report card was all red. Everything on the grade on the paper was red. But anyway, that's really hot, neither here nor there. I'm like an F minus for the quarterback. Let's get to the running back position. Again, Jaylen Warren had a pretty good game, 70 yards rushing. Nothing about that man tells me he's playing bad football. The guy brings it every game, no matter who they play, what the situation is. Jaylen Warren, he's a baller, Mike. He's a gamer. What do you give the running backs for their performance last night?
Just because of Jaylen Warren, everything he does between the run game, pass protection, I'm giving him A+. Jaylen Warren gets the A+.
Jaylen Warren gets the A+. It's a big red A. I think that they even did the best grade in red as well. Mike, let's go to the tight ends. We're talking Pat Freiermuth. We're talking Meatwad. We're talking Jonnu Smith with his 1 catch for 4 yards. And finally, Darnell Washington. Mike, what do you give the Steeler tight end room, as this was supposed to be the group that was going to carry this team in Arthur Smith's offense? The tight ends were the biggest part. Why we didn't get receivers, why we didn't make other moves. Mike, what do you give the tight end room when it comes to giving them a grade for their performance last night?
I'm going to go C-.
C- to the tight end room. Mike, 3 catches for Freiermuth for 33 yards. Washington, 1 catch, 15 yards. Jonnu, 1 catch, 4 yards. Again, Meatwad did not catch anything. So we got your grade on that. So I'm seeing Somber saying an F for the quarterback, a B for the running backs, a C for tight ends. Let's crack into our wide receivers, which look like this. DK Metcalf, 3 catches, 35 yards. Calvin Austin, 2 catches, 14 yards. And that's it. 2 wide receivers, Mike, for a total of 5 catches and 49 yards.
Roman Wilson, 2 for 35 and a touchdown.
Okay. Okay. If you want to use that to give the up your grade, but
I'm not. It's a flat out D for D's nuts.
I didn't throw Roman in there because it was shit time, and I figured that was going to become a question. So let's throw Roman in there as well, Mike.
D.
2 catches. Okay. A D?
D.
Right.
It didn't affect the grade, but
Somber saying D as well.
Roman a little love. Yeah.
Christopher says tight ends get a pass for me because of the bad play of Rodgers. Wide receivers also. Let's move to the offensive line play. Now you got to put all 5 guys into consideration. Again, Siamalu did not play last night with his injury of his pec. Andrews Pete plays his spot. We're talking left tackle, Broderick Jones, right tackle, Fatanu, Frazier. Come on. Offensive line, Mike, what do you give these guys?
Run game, I thought they did really well, and pass protection was not the greatest. But for me, it's going to average out to be like a C+.
All right, Mark Malone saying an F, Somber saying a D. Guys, let's hop over to the defensive side of the ball. Defense was a little better than the offense. I think we could all agree. Mike, this defensive line, Benton, Harmon, and also, Mike, as my television told me, the number one defensive tackle in the league. Number one. Nobody's better than Cam Hayward. This I don't understand. But, guys, defensive line, Mike, what do you give these guys for their grade last night?
They played well. Front seven had 30 pressures. They didn't get a lot of the running yards till later in the game when they were blown up, so the offense was giving them any help. So it's kind of unfair to them. The defense put all the blame onto them. But that front, fuck. I'm gonna go a straight C+ here, just because they did falter at the end through no fault of their own. They were out there for damn near 40 minutes, but still, you're out there. You got to do something. You got to stop the run late in the game. I know you're digging down deep. C+.
These long NFL games, the competition is so high, the players are so good, and to be a defensive lineman on the field, it could be tiring. These are big gentlemen. And to be
I know. Like, I kind of want to give them a B.
As long as they're out there. So consider how long they're out there on the Steelers defense. And listen, I'm not trying to get you to change. I'm just kind of throwing that out there because, again,
you know what? I'll be generous. I'm
not asking you to. I'm just kind of.
I'm going to give them a B. Give them a B.
D-line, Somber saying B-. Mark Malone says it should have been Warren B+. Everyone else on the offense an F. Guys, let's move to the linebacker spot. Peyton Wilson, he seemed to come up. He looked hard at one point. He seemed to be okay. Of course, Patrick Queen, TJ Watt getting his sack, Smitty getting 2 sacks, Herbig also getting a sack. Mike, you might have to be generous to the linebacker room just because of the amount of sacks that they were able to put out last night. I think. What do you give the linebackers?
Everyone not named TJ Watt is giving this grade a lot of heavy lifting. Because his F is pulling the average down.
Even with the sack, he gets the F.
Garbage time sack, man. That's the teacher feeling sad.
So that was like Roman Wilson's not counting as well. Just
exactly.
Okay,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. I'm gonna give those guys a B as well.
All right, Mike. Somber saying C to the linebackers. Mike's giving him a B. That was a lot. They sacked. They got to the quarterback, and not enough, obviously.
Not enough.
But you would have liked to see more. Mike, let's talk about the defensive backs. Joey Porter Jr., Jalen Ramsey, the injured Darius Slay going out with the concussion protocol. My man, James Pierre, who's been playing good football. I don't care what anybody says. His coverage has been looking good, breaking up a couple of big passes in the past couple of games, Mike, and being right there. James Pierre certainly improved. But when you're talking about the secondary, I'm talking safeties, I'm talking corners. Mike, what do you give this secondary last night? Didn't necessarily get carved up. Again, I'm looking at I'm looking at Herbert's numbers. 20 for 33 for 220 yards, 1 touchdown is a very average day in the NFL. That's not fantastic. It's not terrible. Yeah. Mike, what do you get these DBs for trying to keep up with this young stud?
Yeah, and you take away that, I know you can't do it, but you take away that big 58-yard touchdown to Mahonky. They did not do that bad. So this might be a harsh grade for them. I'm going to go C+.
All right.
Thought they could have locked it up a little bit better. Give the guys up front a little bit more time sometimes, but they didn't do that bad of a job. I just think Eccles getting beat on a couple of those plays is going to hurt their grade. C+, but it might be like a B-, C+ in that range.
Somers saying B, C+ on that. Also, Jamal says, what the fuck happened to us? Is Rodgers aged about 15 years in the last 3 weeks. He went from being a 41-year-old quarterback to like a 55-year-old quarterback. I don't imagine that's going to get better, but again, we'll see. We got Cincinnati guys in 6 days. Christopher says Keanu Benton gets another sack. Guys, I love me some Keanu Benton this year. I bitched and moaned about him, saying every year he has to get better. He has to be able to finish plays. He has to be able to get to the quarterback. And Christopher nailed it on the head, guys. 5 sacks for Benton this year. I got nothing bad to say about that gentleman. Mike, let's get to the special teams. Missed field goal. special teams, Mike, Danny Smith wasn't excited this week as he was last week. What do you give these special teams? Punts, kickoffs, coverage.
One of the worst special teams performances I've seen in a while. C-.
All right, coaching. Now, this is everybody. Be fair. We're going to talk head coach. We're going to talk offensive coordinator. We're going to talk special teams coordinator. We're going to talk defensive coordinator. Try to be as fair as you can across the board. Mike, what do you give the Steelers for coaching? Do you feel that we did good on defense, bad on offense? What do you give this? The coaching for the Steelers.
Yeah, I thought the game plan on defense was working. You saw it was working. The game plan on offense was not. It was very disjointed. It was not good at all. So I'm going to go a D+ on coaching.
And I'm looking on the board here. Mark Malone says Benton is a great interior rusher. Mark Malone, Benton is a great interior rusher. And then also Somber says Benton is great when he's not the nose tackle. Go figure. Somber says special teams a D, coaching a D also from Somber. Christophus says F. They should have benched Rodgers. So that's toward the coaching. And finally, guys, overall, now this is everything all balled into one. And if we took all your grades and threw them together, there would be an average grade, Mike. But I'm going to ask you straight from the horse's mouth, what is your overall grade for our black and gold last night in California in the 25-10 loss in week 10, Mike? What's your overall grade for the Steelers? You know what? Nobody's expecting a good one. I got to be honest with you.
No, a C-. It was a C- game from this team, and a team that's at or slightly above the Steelers level. A C- game is not good enough to win. You can't. We're not that good enough a team to have a C- performance and go out there and be expected to win. This team has to perform at a B level or more to go out there and have a chance to win.
All right. Somber says STD is what he give them. He also says D+. Phil the Steel's giving an F. Phil also says Vanilla going to give an A. He's going to give a B, but for Tomlin an A+. And you know what?
Damn straight, brother.
But Mike, let me rewind just a second because on the board I did see that Phil says this. Going to ask Vanilla a question. Hold on. I don't know if that was asked. I don't see anything on the board. So Phil, go ahead and ask away. Now would be the time to do that. Tortilla says the killer D's. And Mike, finally, as we're waiting on that question from Phil the Steel, who gets your game ball? We did kind of brush over this early on in the show. Who is your game ball for the Steelers, Mike, in the game last night? Again, we kind of did this already. I'm not gonna go too far away from what I had said. Who do you give the game ball to for the Steelers in this loss?
I'm gonna change it up here. I know Warren had a hell of a game. He was my favorite player to watch, but I'm going to go with Derek Harmon. Watching him play snap after snap, he gives effort every single play, every single snap. I think he's going to be something special, and I think he played a good game until the end when, they were just gassed. So I'm going to give him – he's going to get my game ball. He's under the radar type of game. It's solid and consistent. I think performances like that need to be rewarded every once in a while. So I'm going to give him my game ball.
All right, so that is Derek Harmon. Mike, I'm going to stay on the defensive side of the ball. It was a toss-up for me between Benton and Smitty. And the reason I'm sticking with Smitty in this decision is because I don't generally favor the way of Alex Highsmith. I've never been a huge fan. As a matter of fact, I was upset when Bud Dupree left and Smitty was given the money. But today it's going to be between one of these two guys. My game ball, Smitty had 2 sacks, but Benton's been red hot. This was about yesterday's game, not the last 5 games.
Yeah.
I think you got to give the guy that gets 2 sacks in the game ball. For me, on the defensive side of the ball, the offense looked bad from top to bottom. My game ball goes defense, Smitty. That's my game ball. Alex Highsmith, 2 sacks, Mike, last night, and that's where I'm gonna land with that.
Yeah, because really on offense, it's only Jalen Warren only. Benton, Highsmith, 2 really good guys to go pick there too. I thought they played good games.
Jalen Warren could have been a very easy pick. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm glad that neither you or I did pick Jalen because, again, the guy is the only one that does something positive every time he touches the ball.
Right, yeah. Like, it's kind of known. Like, he gets the de facto game ball. These guys, like, you got to spread the love around to the guys who, might get overshadowed.
Right. Let's catch up on a couple messages, Mike. We are going to get ready to round third here. The Killer D. Somber says this beginning of the season offense was on point and the defense sucks. Now it's reverse. When I say, I think I used to use the term yin and yang. We can never yin and yang at the same time. We're either yinging and we ain't yanging, or yanging and we ain't yinging. Man, ain't like I've got two things at the same time, like peanut butter, no jelly, ham, no burger. That's the case of what's going on with this team. I couldn't agree more. Now it's reversed.
The ham no burger is always
no
one of my
burger.
favorites. I'm glad you threw that out there.
He finishes that comment up by saying, "Can we put a complete performance together once this year? Please, just once. Be a team." Got to be Warren. Mark Malone is giving his game ball to Warren. I have no problems with that. Bill Steele says, Vanilla, did you play football? He did. He played a little football early on, right, Mike?
I played a little football early on, yeah.
Was that your question? Also, Christopher says, hit the button, fellas. Only 7 in the chat. Hey, man, hit the button. We appreciate that, Christopher. Always, my man. Always. Thank you, sir. Game ball goes to 30. Phil the Steel says. Tortilla says the game ball goes to Mike Tomlin, throwing it in his face. See, now I like that comment. I would say something like that, and Mike would make fun of me. Also, Tortilla, Roman Wilson could touch the game ball, but he can't have it.
It's because I like Tortilla. I don't like you.
Show enough. All right, let's see. Phil Steele says, no yanging. Just a couple quick notes, guys. The Penguins beat both games they played this weekend. They lose to the Devils on Saturday, 2-1 to the Kings. Mike, tough week with those LA teams. The Kings on Sunday beat us 3-2. The Penguins are now 9-5-3. They play at Nashville next game on Friday at 2:00 p.m. Pittsburgh Riverhounds are advancing to the conference finals, Mike, with our other football team here in Pittsburgh, our soccer team, of course. It was another 0-0 finish, but they win with the kicks, Mike. They win by way of 4-3 over Detroit City. They play Rhode Island at home on Saturday at 6:00 in the conference finals. Also, the Penn State, Mike, they almost beat the number 2 team in the land. By the end of the game, number 2 Indiana scores with just under a minute, 27-24. Penn State lose. Pitt had the week off, but they do have ESPN Game Day coming to Acrisure Stadium on Saturday for a game between the number 23 Pitt and number 9 Notre Dame. That is a noon start on Saturday. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be a lot of fun for Pitt fans for sure. And finally, in the high school ranks, Mike, not only was Deion Sanders hanging out at Moon Township High School as he was getting Colorado prepared to play West Virginia, he was at a local high school with his team practicing, which was pretty cool. Mike, also, Colorado, I think they lost. I think West Virginia beat them. But Mike, I also do want to say this, in high school, in the high school ranks, Aliquippa, they get revenge on Newcastle. They lost to Newcastle earlier this year. They beat them in the semifinals, Mike, 14-0 in the revenge game. They are playing McKeesport. McKeesport has the best number 1 running back in the country. So great Aliquippa going against the great McKeesport this coming Saturday. This is the 4A championship game. It's going to be at Pine Richland High School. And then Mike, Central Catholic, of course, Dan Marino's alum, is going to be facing off against North Allegheny. One more you might be a little bit more recently familiar with is Joey Porter Jr. So some big names coming out of these high schools playing this weekend, Mike. That's 6A. That game will also be this weekend. The 1, 2, 3, and 5A games, they are still to be decided, and their championship games will be the following week at Acrisure Stadium. So Aliquippa, McKeesport, Central Catholic, and North Allegheny this weekend, high school championships. So I want to say good luck to all those young men. Mike, why don't you tell everybody about the website?
The 2dumbyinzers.com. Check it out, everyone. We got the merch store, the Dummy Inzer thoughts over there, all around, and social media links over there. Check it out.
All right, here we go, guys. Time for the question of the day. How well do you know your enemy? How well do you know your opponent? And this question is going to be a Cincinnati Bengals question because it is Bengals week. Again, here we go, guys. Everybody on the board, Mike, put on your thinking cap. Here is the question of the day. What was the last year the Cincinnati Bengals swept the Pittsburgh Steelers in a season? I'm looking for a year. Question again, what was the last year the Bengals swept the Steelers in a season? Which could be the case this time next week. We could be having this conversation. I'm looking for a year, guys. Take a minute to think that over. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. every day right here on the Tube.
I'm Tube.
Tortilla is saying 2011 is his pick, Mike. That was the last time the Bengals beat us twice in the years. I remember they had times when they were a pretty good team and they gave us a run for our money. But question of the day, Mike, what's your thought process on this question about the last year the Steelers got swept by the Bengals?
I think it was the year they won 2 and lost the Super Bowl. I can't remember what year it was. Like, I'm right there with you, Somber. 2020, 2021. I can't remember. So I'm going to go 2021.
And they beat us. And then they went on to the Super Bowls, which you're saying. So 21.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is your final answer.
Final answer.
Christopher is saying Ben's last year in a Steeler jersey. Tortilla is saying Steelers play better. He says they play better when there's drama in the locker room. That's because we just got so damn good at it. I'm so used to it. There's been so much drama.
They need to rally around.
Phil is still saying 2013 on that. Chris was saying 80 movies, Rambo or Rocky. I love Stallone. Mike T for life. Mike T for life. Said by Jamal on the board. And that game was crazy, that Penn State game. Let's get back to the question of the day, guys. What was the last year the Cincinnati Bengals swept the Steelers in the regular season? Mike is saying 2021. I'm seeing 2011, 2013, 2021 on the board. Guys, the correct answer, 09 was the last time prior to this. 2021 was the last time that it happened. So it was a 12-year period of time. And that 09 team, is when we were good. But the Bengals were starting to get good too, Mike. But we were just a little better at that period of time with the great defense that we had in 08, 09. Jamal says, facts, we need GP back. They need to fight each other in the locker room for like a Royal Rumble. It's the only way we could get things done, guys. I do want to say this. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about everything that we're going to have to try to get accomplished to get ready for the Bengals. Again, this team carved us up. Hopefully in a month's period of time, we can figure out how to maybe prevent this from happening. Again, this weekend in Pittsburgh this time. Mike put the alert out during the show that Joe Burrow has been cleared to play. Whether he plays against us or not, we don't know. He will still need time to get back into shape, practice, all that kind of fun stuff. So we'll keep an ear on that. Also, the Mike Tomlin press conference tomorrow. We'll have live scoop on that as everything as that is going on during the show. Again, we hope to see everybody tomorrow at our regular time. Mike, let me go over these few things. If you haven't had a chance to visit any of our social media sites, we are on Facebook, X, Instagram, Threads, even TikTok. Swing by any of our social media sites and just hit the follow button. Keep up with what the Two Dumb Users are up to on a day-to-day basis. And then finally, guys, if you haven't below, hit the like button, sub if you haven't. Also, feel free to share and comment if you'd like as well. All that stuff helps us out by way of algorithm. So if you enjoyed the show, hit the like button. It helps us. We appreciate it. Mike, I do also want to say, be sure, guys, we're going to need it, I think, by the way the second half of the season's going. Next time you do head to the distributor or wherever you do get your beer, make sure to grab yourself a case of Duquesne Pilsner, guys. The gentlemen at Duquesne Pilsner always do right by us, and they do, provide our name during promotions and things like this. So we want to pay it back to them. If you see anything Duquesne Pilsner on social media, hit the like button. And like I said, grab yourself a case, Mike. It's made right here in Pittsburgh. Duquesne Pilsner, as it says on the can, grab a Duke.
Grab a Duke.
Let's see. Let me kind of take a look, make sure we're not forgetting anything. Again, tomorrow we'll be back. You guys want to hear some interesting facts before we wrap it up, Mike, about the game from yesterday? Just a bunch of random interesting facts. If you want to hang out for just another minute or two, guys, I found that some of these were interesting, and I figured I would share them with you. This was from yesterday. Here we go. In the post-Ben Roethlisberger era, the Steelers are now 0-5 when they turn the ball over 3 or more times.
Oh, wow.
The Steelers were outsnapped 69-50 for the 9th time in 9 games this season. Pittsburgh didn't run more plays than its an opponent. Defensive lineman Keanu Benton had 2 total sacks across his first 2 NFL seasons. He now has 4.5 from this season alone.
He's stepping it up, man.
Alex Highsmith now leads the team with 5.5 sacks on the season. He had 2 sacks in each of his last 2 games. That's something TJ Watt has never done.
Whoa. Repeat that.
Alex Smith now leads the team with 5.5 sacks on the season. He has 2 sacks in each of his last 2 games. That's something TJ Watt has never even done. The last Steeler to do so was defensive lineman Cam Hayward in 2017. Ooh. The last outside linebacker to do it was James Harrison in 2024.
Ooh.
You want to hear a couple more?
Yeah, a couple more.
Let's see. Aaron Rodgers completed 1631 passes. That's just 51.6%. It's his lowest completion percentage, minimum 10 attempts in a game since going 16 for 35 in 2020 in a loss to the Buccaneers. It's just the 14th time of his regular season career Rodgers has a sub 52% completion percentage. Sunday night was his 250th regular season start. Couple more. Metcalf hasn't eclipsed 55 yards in any of his last 4 games. This is our number 1 receiver. Last time he surpassed it was October 12th. He finished Sunday night with just 35 yards. And let me go to my last page. I think there's one more here. All right. Finally, Chris Boswell's first true missed field goal in nearly 24 months. Discounting kicks that were blocked or from extreme distance and or terrible weather. The last regular average kick, I guess they're saying the last time Boswell missed a field goal came on December 3rd, 2023 against the Arizona Cardinals when he hooked a 45-yarder wide right. So there's some interesting scoop and facts from last night. And that is going to be the way that we wrap up what we hope to be Victory Monday today. It is not. Again, we will be back tomorrow at our regular time to do it all over again. We hope that everybody could come back. And as I said, we're going to try to figure out what the hell went wrong, what we can do as we move forward, and so much more, Mike, as we do continue on through this week. Again, we want to say thank you to everybody for coming and hanging out with today. We really do truly appreciate each and every one of you. We truly do. We couldn't do it without you. We wouldn't do it without you. Thank you. Also, I want to say thank you to everybody on the board. You guys always keep things interesting on this board. I wouldn't expect anything less. I'm going to be honest, from the terrible board. I want to say thank you to everybody that's at home. Maybe you're at the gym. Maybe you're in the car. Maybe you just have your earpods in and you're listening. I want to thank you too. I'm going to blow through some of the messages, Mike, because I'm going to wrap it up. I don't want to miss anybody. So I'm going to at least read every message. Let me just get a few out. Let me see what we can do. Let's see. Going back to you answering the question, Vanilla Google Thunder is what Tortilla is now calling you.
On the enemy list, Tortilla. On the enemy list.
Jamal says, I saw him over there too at Tortilla Jackson. Phil says, cheer Phil, see you on the flip-flop. My man, always Phil. Glad to have you on as always. Somber says, talking trash with the Steelers gang. For sure. Love them guys, man. Jamal says, you know it. Also says KB looks like one of our best players. Tortilla, we gotta make all the vets carry the rookie pads. That's what they ought to start doing. Make the veterans carry pads for the rookies. I bet you any money the veterans start playing better football all of a sudden. I'm just saying. Somber says this. Pretty sure the only game we've won time of possession was the Browns. You know what? It literally says none. We didn't win the time of possession, I guess. Phil still says Predator. Badlands was a cool movie.
I want to see that movie. It looks badass.
Christopher says, did you guys see that interview with Trump during the Commanders game? I loved it. It was awesome. I did not see that. Also, Tortilla says, we are so cooked. Follows it up by saying the Commanders are very red. You could see their skin was very red. Christopher says, I'm not awesome. The interview was. Phil still, how many winning splash plays has Watt made himself? He had, I think, 3 in 2024. Boom!
None last night.
Somber says, take care. Great show, Jamal. We appreciate that from you, my friend. We feel the same about you always as well. Jamal says, appreciate you guys. My man, always. And then Phil says, got 2 words for Vanilla and Tallman. Suck it! Guys, thank you so much for coming and hanging out again. Tomorrow, join us at our regular time. We'll be back at 11:30 to kick things off. Get ready for our Tuesday installment of the show. Moving forward, Mike, again, 8:49 tomorrow. The halfway point will be 8:50. Episode 850, so we'll be that much closer to the big 1,000 here in the middle of the week, guys. Hope to see everybody tomorrow. We'll be back. Mike, anything before we go? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
I got nothing. Have a good one, everyone.
All right, everybody. Mike from the Steelers Central Mobile Studio, myself, the two dumb Yinzers. Have a great Monday. Stay safe, everyone. Monday Night Football tonight. Philly at Green Bay, 8:15. See your CBS Pick'ems. We'll talk about that and everything else tomorrow. Hope to see everybody back. Molly Ringwald, love, Christophus, everybody. Two dumb Yinzers. Have a great one. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.